they got this big old Michael Jackson thing at Lincoln Center. Oh my God, this whole thing's Michael freaking Jackson. Oh my gosh. I gotta see this from outside, but I don't want to miss my movie. But look. They got this big old Michael Jackson. What's up, y'all? What's up? It has been a long time. Like, I'm not even sure if anybody's up, but if you are, welcome. It's been a minute. We are about to witness history. We are about to witness history as the Michael Jackson biopic has its early access, which is April 22nd, and then the full release, which is April 24th. But to be honest, I consider it the opening day now being the 22nd because they have shows the 22nd, the 23rd, and of course 24th. What's up, Kelly Gale? What's up? So this is going to be a different kind of live. We're not doing a presentation because I don't know if you guys saw my Ryan Gosling live. I was in the hospital and then I had complications again this week. Almost had to go back to the hospital. So I'm like, I don't have time to do stuff like this, at least not at this moment. So we're just going to chat if there's stuff you guys want to chat about, or if somebody's brave enough to be a co-host, feel free to come up. My only request is please don't curse. Please don't curse. And please do not be unnecessarily messy. But otherwise than that, welcome to, I'm going to call it Michael Jackson Biopic Week. It became a thing. So let me just break a couple of things down to you. If you're not aware, we do have 2 Michael Jackson weeks. One is the week that Michael transitioned to heaven, and which is the June 25th week. And then we have Michael Jackson's birthday, which is August 29th week. So now we have another week rounded. And for those, technically it was 2 weeks because some of you guys flew out to Berlin and, celebrated a little bit earlier. Oh, what's up, Serena? Washing dishes right now, so I won't be able to chat for a while. I'm almost done though. That's what's up. Get them dishes clean. Hello and hi. So, I have so much on my mind. Again, there's no presentation. I think there's only one slide, and it's just of my where is it? Here we go. The TikTok. I have a TikTok called I Love the Jackson Family. I'm so happy to see it growing organically, like no issues, like y'all got love. This is my only successful TikTok. So, and especially if you're under Gadgetrish, Gadgetrish TikTok gets more content than anything right now. When we start memberships, then of course YouTube will get the bulk of it. But for now, TikTok Gadgetrish gets all these, I call it subliminals. If you kind of want to know what's going on through my head, there's a lot of subliminals there. And just, whatever, me just having moments. Hey, Cheyenne, I miss seeing your live. Hope all is well. So excited for this week coming. All, thank God, is getting well. I just think I just needed some rest and water. I know that's so silly, like something so simple. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. It's hard to get rest and it's hard to get water. Like, I work in retail and I hate going to the bathroom a gazillion times. And I'm sure my coworkers like, dang, she's in the bathroom a lot. But water for my condition is really important, or it leads to me going back to the hospital. So I'm learning to rest and drink my water, and I'm feeling much better. Thank God. I made a clay snake and it was a teddy bear with a book bag on it. Okay, that's cool. What's up, Angel? What's good? What's up, Tiff? You missed nothing. This is going to be probably one of my first lives ever with no presentation, because it was like, wait a minute. we're about to be in a biopic. Some of you guys are headed to LA as we speak. And then I might do a watch party for maybe Bohemian Rhapsody and maybe Elvis. It depends how tomorrow or today goes, because now it's Sunday. Um, I got to check on my family member, but God is good. They are still fighting a good fight. And if all goes well, then maybe we could do at least one biopic watch party. Because somebody claimed, does anybody know the Moonwalker? That was like, this is not only what he said it was the best movie, but he said no, it's the best biopic, and then he goes, it's the best movie ever. And I'm like, is that cap? Like, are you telling the truth? Like, what's going on? Uh, Thank you. Jesus loves you too. And no, Jesus is the only reason why I made it this far. Like, literally. Like, I've been coming from this perspective of gratitude and recognizing what's not for me is not for me. So I've gotten, like, lately, I've been thanking God a lot about just food. And I know that sounds silly, but when I was first on my own, I've been on my own since my dad passed away, which is around 21-ish. I decided not to go with my mom. So I was on my own since. And so I remember I used to starve. I lost so much weight because I refused to go back to my mom's house. And it's not that I had an issue with my mom, but sometimes when you're in your 20s or teens and stuff, you just got this weird rebellious energy with your parents. And I had it. So I didn't want to be under her roof. And I didn't want to disrespect her. So I got super skinny. And so I never forgot what it is to starve. And the economy's tight again. And I'm even more grateful that I still can manage to afford food, because it's hard to get these, things like, the government subsidies like food stamps and Medicaid. Like, sometimes you gotta fidge the numbers, which I would not recommend, because they sometimes catch on to this stuff. Or go to food pantries, which I used to go to. There was a food pantry in the Heights that I used to go to. Um, but I forgot why I stopped going there. I know they relocated and I never found out where they went. But the point is, like, I'm grateful to have food, and I'm grateful to wake up. I'm grateful to be alive. So yeah, say all that. Yeah. Jesus loves all of us. And every time we get to wake up, it's a good thing. Can't wait until the film. Listen, this is all I've been looking forward to. When they had the Berlin uh early access, and the fans are like, this is great, this is wonderful. I had a feeling it was in that vibration, because why would you release something 2 weeks ahead knowing the fans could destroy your product? And so you had a lot of social media people there. Of course, you had MJ. I mean, I think they were all MJ fans, but we know as Moonwalkers, there's subcultures to this stuff. So then you got super fans, you have casual fans, you have, fill in the blank. There's so many different subcultures of Michael Jackson fans. And so this is what the makeup was for the Berlin release. And so I was super happy to see Brandon there. There was also Joseph Moonwalker. Like, there was a couple of people I did recognize. But I was like, and I believe everything they said, I did. But we still got to see this for ourselves. And of course, I found out there was an early release in Gary, Indiana. And there's a couple of other people that got private screenings. And of course, the LA one will be Monday, the 20th. And then, of course, us normies will have early access on the 22nd. I have tickets for the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and maybe the 25th. I haven't booked it yet, but I'm probably going to do the 25th. Where are we going? Hey, Brucey Brew. I think there will be a sequel for sure. It hasn't been confirmed, but I think this is easily going to be a $1 billion film. So many great things said about Jafar. So many great things spoken about Coleman Domingo. Now from the normies, like film people, the reviews were a little bit more mixed, but nothing bad. Like the worst score I saw was like maybe 3.5. And that's only because they wanted like the latter half of his life. And then there was some controversy about the ending. So I can't wait to find out what the ending's about. The Berlin premiere looked amazing, and I saw so many amazing outfits there. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really encourage everybody to, like your MJ fit could be a t-shirt like this. It could be sequins, loafers with white socks, fedora hats. And I even saw somebody wear the fedora popcorn hat. That counts. What else? What else? Me, I'll be doing a lot of references because I work in a place where they're not going to allow me to wear MJ merch. I could wear a reference. So you're going to see some shine. You're going to see some winks, some creativity because I need to keep my job. I'm going to cry all at y'all. Not sure if I will go. I hope you get to go. And yes, bring some tissue. Yo, Leah, do you want to be a co-host? Do you want to be a co-host? Let me know. I think I'm gonna watch the Jacksons American Dream. That's a good idea. Um, the whole thing with the watch parties, because we did American Dream on this thing, but I just think you should watch it because it's just a good refresher, just so we could have like a comparison. Because American Dream, if you guys are not familiar with the American Dream, I will call it miniseries, that was done by Jermaine Jackson, which is Jafar Jackson's dad, and I believe Jermaine's wife at the time. I hope I'm not messing that up. And they did a phenomenal job, and it was about the beginnings of the Jackson 5. This is a little different. You're going to see some of the origins of the Jacksons, because Michael started with the Jackson 5, but it branches up until Michael becomes solo until the end of the 80s. And then if we're lucky, we'll get a sequel, and then we'll get the rest of the story. So that'll be really awesome. Oh my gosh, good morning. Part was confirmed by Jafar in his latest Entertainment Tonight interview on YouTube. I'm feeling so much better. So much better. I can't believe water and lack of rest is like causing so much problems. But I'm resting, and I'm like, when I went to the theater earlier, well, now it's yesterday. I had hold on, I'll show it because we can show what I got today. Well, actually, let me do a back story before I show you what I was drinking. So yesterday, they had Stranger Things Tales of 85 in the movie theater, the first 2 episodes. And so it was only 55 minutes. So I said, you know what? I'll just, watch this during my break and whatever. Right. So what happened was, what led me to go across the street? So, backstory. I'm at 42nd Street, right? So there's 2 theater chains there. You have AMC, and AMC, by the way, if you guys are still looking for the Superman popcorn tins, they still have these. They have 3 of the 6, because yesterday was Superman Day, and they were celebrating the first release of Superman, which came out in April 18th. I don't know about the year though. Do they even have the year? They don't have nothing on this one. But the point is, 42nd Street is known to have merch first. This is very important. So then I was like, all right, let me just go across the street to Regal real quick. So when I get across the street, oh my God, the freaking cups and the buckets are there. Oh, like the minute I came in, and unfortunately I did not have that in tape, I started screaming, and he knew by the scream. He goes, "Are you here for Michael Jackson?" Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So I ended up drinking 2 things of water like this. I have a Superman cup, and then I drank that. And then like in the morning, I'm supposed to drink a bunch of water. Yeah. So I'm feeling much better because I'm drinking my water. I'm taking stuff with less salt. I'm being mindful about my health because I'm like, it shut my channels down really bad. I was just like, like you can't. I'm sure you could shoot from the hospital, but it's not a good idea. It's very busy. So then So here's the bad news. So if the merch is in Regal now and Cinemark as of last week, you're going to come to parts where it's going to sell out. There's a 50-50 chance, unless they put stuff on the side specifically for the movie release, there will be no merch. So AMC has the blanket, and they told me they will not release it until the day of, which is 22nd. But Regal is selling that combo now. That combo cost me, I think, $27.21. So, like, I know you want to get your fresh popcorn, yada, yada, yada. But listen, if you want the merch, just get it now. Most theaters will be kind enough to let you get the merch without buying the ticket. However, they have the right to say no. My trick and my tip, if you want to get concession without buying a ticket, you're not going to ask them to go to the concession stand. You're going to say, "Hi, I'm here just for concession." When you ask, then they have the option to tell you no, as opposed to you just saying, "Oh, I'm just here for concession." More likely, they're not going to say no. It's a little trick I learned over time. But yeah, because the minute you go, "Oh, can I just buy concession?" No, don't ask. Say, "Hi, I'm here just for concession." And most of the time, I have been told no, though, especially at 42nd Street, but just saying, little pro tip. And the Regal at 42nd Street tends to be open at like 9, 10, 11 in the morning. Just look at whenever they have their first showtime, just they'll be open 30 minutes before. And they tend to open early. That's the only theater that does that. In terms of like super early, 42nd Street. So just good tip there. I'm sorry. Yeah, I brought my merch from Cinemark already. Good move. Good move. And it's funny, Honey. So Honey was the first person to get the merch. And then she said, "Oh, it's not Trisha, it was a bunch of us in the group." And she's like, "Hey, do y'all need merch?" Initially, I was going to say yes, but I was like, "I have a Regal gift card. I'm trying not to spend money unnecessarily." So, I'm not gonna lie, I regret saying no. And so I said, "Hey, honey, are you still in the theater?" And she goes, "No, I left already." And I said, "No problem. I'll take my chances." And then I'm seeing like Jenny from the block, she's putting up her stuff, and other moonwalkers, CJ. And I'm just like, did I make a mistake? Did I make a mistake? And then, as I'm watching Stranger Things tells from 85, something just was nagging at me. Go across the street. Now, the only downfall is I had to stay at work longer, because, I'm over the time that you're allowed to be outside. That's all right. It was worth it. I got home late and I was like, I got my merch. Um, thank you. Thank you. So, yeah. So, if you're for the merch, for those who are familiar with the whole drama with the whole Mario thing, let me see if my Mario bucket's in here. Hopefully it is. Hey, y'all, I actually got pants on today. I thought if my Mario bucket's in here, I can't see it because it's a big light over me. So the Mario merch, let me tell you about the drama with Mario, because I'm on 2 channels, so I might as well share stuff that's non-Michael too. The Mario merch was so ridiculous. I came this close to having a meltdown on YouTube and, but I'm like, what? This is so stupid. Real things are going on in the world. People are fighting for their lives. We're battling over, like, in other words, do not act like a baby over merch. So when we went to go see Super Mario, the day it opened, they had hardly no merch. So everyone's having okay, not everybody. I was the main one who had a meltdown, but I was really upset. I said, "This is the first day. What are you talking about?" So then the guy goes, "Oh yeah, I sold out around 4 o'clock in the afternoon." Well, I can't get there, especially Lincoln Center. Lincoln Center, even though it's close to my job, it's not as close as the 42nd one. I said, I can't just zip in and out. Like, what are we doing? So I was pissed. So good, God is good. Because I go to the theater so much, I kind of know where to go. So I got lucky. There's a theater called 84th and Broadway, AMC. They're not as busy as, let's say, Lincoln Square. When I went the next day, they had a fresh batch. So I was just like, but I never saw the stars. I never saw the smallest popcorn bucket. I never saw the other stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Fine, more money in my pocket, but it was still aggravating. So let it be a cautionary tale. If you really want Michael Jackson merch, listen, even if you got church first thing in the morning, just go. Well, not unless your church is super early. Just go super early. Just go right before your service starts. I'm talking to the New Yorkers because like the subways, you could zip in and out really quick out everything. And then you'll have fresh popcorn after church. Um or go after church. But I'm kind of tempted to go back downtown because now somebody else wants a bucket. And I'm like, well, if can find a way to get back downtown and get their bucket, I will. Um, let's see. Hey, did I miss something? I think I did. I think I did, but hopefully if I miss something, just retype it. What's up, Profess? I wish I could see it with the fans in New York. Oh, heads up, Profess. If you're not working, the fans will be gathering April 22nd, 34th Street, 6:00 show. The seats to the left are absolute trash, but if you want, just try to stop through. Moses Harper will be there, and that's all I know. But Moses will be there. I found out through Moses that's the fan meetup. Otherwise than that, maybe we could do a meetup another day. Who knows? What's up? What's up, Kara? Pew, 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 pew. So, yeah. And there's another popcorn bucket I know is going to be like Hunger Games, freaking the Mandalorian one. And so the Mandalorian one, I'm gonna have to give props where props are due. They did their thing on the merch. Not saying that Michael Jackson didn't, but they played it safe. So it's like, like for example, the fedora hat the concept is excellent, but it's like, if I don't get it, I don't get it. The one that I wanted, I have. I said, I remember me and Tori. I said, I need a classic popcorn bucket. I'm going to try to do a video for you guys how to take this to the next level. Because always, I love my popcorn buckets. But specifically this style. So, yeah. The Mandalorian, I low key want everything, but I'm like, that looks like an easy $300-$400. What I do appreciate though, even though they played it safe, is the merch from this first, and I say first round, is affordable. And it's budget friendly. I love this cup. I love how it sparkles. When you see some of my outfits, let's just say this cup is going to be with me every movie. And it works. I'm going to call it for round 1, but I would like an elevated popcorn bucket for round 2. And I know the popcorn elevated buckets are expensive. I got the Yoshi one. That thing was like $50 freaking dollars. But I'm just saying, for round 2, I want an elevated bucket. I have to go to church. Oh no, I forgot. Out of all days, it starts the week the movie comes out. Well, listen, the good news is jury duty ends quickly unless you're like deliberating. Hopefully you'll be able to get early access and see it. Oh my gosh, out of all weeks. Hello, welcome. What else? What else is on my mind? I haven't seen any trailers except for the one in the theater. So I might play that with you guys before I go. We'll see, because they've been like kind of strict with what you can and cannot show. The popcorn bucket is it's a classic look. You could use it for storage. Low-key, yes. Yes. I like the popcorn bucket for round 1 is perfect, because from someone who does collect popcorn buckets, like for example, let me pull up the Grogu stuff, because I could tell this is going to be damaged. Grogu. I was like, bruh, Grogu popcorn buckets. Like, and the fans are already melting down. It's like, oh, here we go. But they're insanely dope. But that means they're going to be expensive. And so instead of us spending a whole bunch of money on popcorn buckets, we could just spend the money on getting tickets to see the biopic. Why not? Let me just see if you guys can see what I could see. Of course not. There we go. Because I was like, oh my God, these popcorn buckets are insanely dope. But again, they cost money. Let me just update what I'm trying to show y'all. Give me a second. I have not done a live in God knows how long. And for those who do lives, it does take a second to get back into the swing of it. Look at that freaking container. That's got to be a minimum $50. I want that one. Oh my gosh. What else? And then of course they have the classic. Well, like Lena said, the classic's perfect. You can't use it for storage. It works. It does. And those are always the most affordable. But look at this Hellman thing, the Prim. And then like Grogu and Mandalorian has like stuff exclusive to just certain situations. So I was like, oh, they brought it. They brought it. And actually I love the ones from Project Hail Mary too. I brought almost everyone out. Actually, Project Hail Mary, I brought another one today just to get the patch because I got a spacesuit now. Yo, that was one of my favorite movie fits probably ever. I took a spacesuit and then I put the Hail Mary patch on. Put it with silver stilettos. 8, bro. 8. Just went around the city. The downfall is people were harassing me, especially when I got to Times Square. I was like, really? But I could see myself wearing spacesuits for 2026 and beyond. I think it's fire. And actually, spacesuits are a Michael Jackson reference from, I believe, the Dangerous or the History Tour, right? No. Someone help me. Where does the spacesuit come from? I'll just pull it up. Michael Jackson spacesuit. Because you know Michael Jackson is innovator. So give credit to the GOAT. Oh my gosh. It said, let's be honest, Michael Jackson didn't fly this thing. Man. Hold on, let me share the screen with you. So this is a Michael Jackson reference. Now, for those who are doing movie fits, let me break something down for someone who's had some epic fits and some epic fails. You could try the space suit thing if you want to, but it might go over a lot of fans' heads, right? Because you got the super fans, the normies, the casuals, da. So, oh snap, what's up, Carol? Thank you, man. Thank you. I got this shirt during the Thriller 40 pop-up store, which brings me to another thing. Because we did have a pop-up situation. No, not that. It's 50 days. Oh my God, if I get selected. Ouch. You want me to jump in real quick? Yeah, let me find you real quickly on Instagram and I'll give you an invite. Because I don't know how long I'm going to be on the live today. I'm still like filling all this stuff out. So I did do a live on someone's TikTok. Oh snap. Why am I having trouble finding you? I know. What? Give me 1 second, Leah. Leah, do me a favor, go into Instagram and just message me real fast, cause I don't know why I don't see you. I know we're friends. We literally just spoke. We are almost here. I can't believe I'm feeling so emotional. I'm sorry, I've seen a lot of fans cry after they saw the movie, and I just know I'll be crying. I think we're all going to be crying. So many good things said about Jafar, and like, let's give Jafar his flowers. This is his first time debuting as an actor. I mean, I don't know how you go from a golf, or he was interested in being a golf player, to a singer, to now an actor. And it comes to find out, like, Jafar is probably similar to Michael and Janet in the sense of, um, we're probably going to discover a lot of awesome things about him. I know he does drawings. I remember Toy mentioned that. He seems to be one of those people that could, you know, pick up on things very fast. The fact that you played Michael Jackson, I think that's amazing. Michael's dancing, the toe stance, the moonwalk. Those are not easy things to do. So dangerous. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I wanted to dress up as Michael in the Way You Make Me Feel short film, but I have to pull a Michael inspired. I think a lot of us do because of our jobs. If you guys are doing the work route, because a lot of you guys are probably coming straight out of work and then going, I freshen up in the bathroom and go straight to work. What you could do is just do the inspired stuff. You could do an all white suit with a black undershirt. That's Thriller. Maybe put a little cub on your shoulder. You could do what's the other one? Uh Smooth Criminal. Do a white suit with a blue shirt. It won't have to be literal. It could just be inspired. And then when you get off for work, you can put your armbands on and stuff like that. Trust me, if you ever see me in a full outfit, 9 times out of 10, I just wasn't at work. Let me just invite our guest. She actually did a live with me, I think. Us. Oh shoot. Hold on, it's not copying. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, I as much as I would love to do the whole outfit things, I saw so many TikToks with people fully dressed doing skits. This is my friends coming from the theater, but I need to keep my job. What about baby boy? What's up? I heard so TJ Jackson, which is another nephew of Michael Jackson, also artist. He had did a readers book club with Moonwalker. He never read his uncle's book until now. I didn't stay in there long, but you have to be a member on his IG to be part of that conversation. But it's a great way to help support TJ as well. My mom is going to accompany me to see the movie. I need to hold myself together as much as possible because I know I'm gonna lose it. Yeah, even my dad told my mom to watch out for me. That is so funny. But yes, mommy, watch out for him. Uh, I hope the movie opens lots of doors for the Jacksons. So do I. And even though the Jacksons Five specifically had paved the way into the legacy because of the scrutiny to destroy not only Michael's legacy but the entire family's legacy. It messes up their bag. Like shows that should be significantly more. Um, they might sell at a fair price, but what should be slam dunk sold out shows, it's just not there yet. um when we see this biopic, we will see the origins of the Jackson Fives, and we will see like there was an ecosystem, and there still is an ecosystem of that legacy. It's the narratives, that some people are still believing certain things. Do your research. I'll leave that there. People coming to my weekend stuff and my page, and I'm like, let me tell you something. We're not fighting. Just do your research. Like, make it make sense. Like, I'll leave that alone. Um, Let me see. Um, what about Baby Boy? Did you watch the farm when he was on? No, I didn't. And then it's like I want to do a live with you guys with that here, but it's like, sometimes they get upset when you do that and it can block the whole entire live. But maybe I'll start just doing stuff privately Monday. Sunday, it's going to be a tight day already. When do you do your review? Okay, when will you do your review and your spoiler review for the Michael Jackson movie? Maybe straight out the theater. I'm going to be with some awesome people on Tuesday, so keep you posted. Maybe I could do a live reaction straight out the theater like John Campia does, or I could do with the group and then do my own at home. Uh, or if I get home early enough, I could do a live the 22nd. But it will be spoiler free at least for the first week. I understand a lot of you guys will not have time to see it until the weekend because you have busier schedules. Jafar's journey is so amazing. He was meant to play the role. I feel we need to protect him. There are a lot of nasty people out there, unfortunately. Absolutely. The problem with human nature is they tend to leech onto people and then drain them of all their resources. And you'll even find, I'm not even going to say friends, fake friends doing it, family members, co-workers. You know who does it. Like sometimes you could pick on it real quick. You're like, what are we doing? TJ did a good job. Yes, as always. Antoine has confirmed that another part of me has been filmed, including Super Bowl halftime perform. Listen, did y'all see that messy post with what's his face? Domingo, right? Coleman Domingo. And he was in his dressing room and you see stuff in the background clearly indicating there'll be a part 2. Now, it could have been stuff they shot in the past. And remember, the first concept of the biopic had to be scrapped for legal reasons. But still, I was like, you look at the looks, look at the background. So, yes. Yeah. That's the trick in life. Stay humble. I don't care who you are. I think everyone's great. I think every single one of us is great. But what separates us is our humbleness and to always focus on God, to be grateful for our gifts and who we are. A lot of us are not humble. So, yeah, I'm working on that. What's up, Leah? What's up? Oh, mic's off. What's up, girl?
What's up?
Her mic's off.
Yo. Oh
So, what's on
goodness,
your
I'm so
mind?
excited. Everything. I'm so excited. I'm happy that we are literally days away of being in the theater and able to, be with the fans. Like, this is great for New York. We got advertisement now. Like, come on. I'm 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 thrilled to say the least.
Speaking of advertising, where's that thing with the moving record? I saw it on Joey's post, and of course, I saw it on the Michael Jackson post. No one has told us where the freaking thing is.
I saw someone mention the location. I think I have to look again. I'm gonna try my best to stop by this coming week to see
Right.
it.
I was like, where is it?
And they added more, so it's not just like the vinyl. It's like we have like a wallpaper now. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I was like,
I love
you
that
tell
for
us where
us.
it is. So here's the second. So get a little messy, but I come with
Mhm.
love. So initially I was a little disappointed that New York didn't have like a big party. I knew we weren't
Yeah.
going to get a premiere. Like that was the given, duh. But I was hoping for a party. And then you know what made me feel a lot better? The Gary, Indiana premiere. That made it right in my eyes. Cause I was like, New York always get love, and don't get it twisted. Lee and I were there for the pop up. It was cute, but
It was cute.
we're used to a big party. We're used to like, we're spoiled. New York is very spoiled. But
Yes.
the
We
Gary,
usually set the
Indiana
tone.
thing, yes. I mean, it's not too late to do a party. I'm just saying, like, maybe if we buy, I don't know, the soundtrack, because I remember I got into the Michael party back in 2010 if I brought a CD at Best Buy and they gave me my ticket. I'm like, we could still have a party, but if we don't, we don't. At this point, we're just gonna support the fan stuff. But that was the only thing. I was really hoping that New York got a party. I was like, New Yorkers know how to party, bro. And not ratchet party, like party with respect. Like your kids could still be there and like everybody's still safe. Um, but what are your thoughts? Like what was your your thoughts of the rollouts? What were you expecting? What you're happy about?
I expected exactly what has happened. That LA was going to get all of the
The
fun
love.
parts of it, whereas more New York, he did a lot of promo and pushing of the film. You gotta remember, like New York is more so the capital of business, so handling that aspect was gonna happen here. Um, I just didn't know LA was gonna be just so colorful and just so vibrant. Um, so there is a jealousy to that. But like you said, Gary got the love that we didn't expect. Jermaine came back home. You know, the brothers were all there. Seeing Jafar like admire and see his family home was just like, okay, like you see where it all came from, you know. So it was nice to see the brothers there, and you know, Jermaine and Marlon and um, Jackie just get emotional about the school and that there was actually music programs still in the school. So it was just cool that they were even tapping into, like, you know, they're peeping out the scene what's happening in Gary, and they're like, okay, I like this, you know. But yeah, LA getting all of the fun parts and the love, wasn't too surprised about it. LA's movie based. So I knew ahead of time about Lionsgate working with LA. They already told me ahead of time, but I was trying to get a nudge if they were doing anything in New York, and that pop up was the biggest thing they mentioned.
Yeah.
So um, yeah, I mean, I wish New York had something, like at least if we had a, you know, Jafar popping up and seeing us. I had some information that it might be something like that coming around, but it's not guaranteed. You know, it's not over. You know, I'm sure um, there will be some more exciting things to come. You know, they got that bus going around, so hopefully at least we get the fun bus that comes to New York. I don't
Yeah.
know if anybody's seen that bus coming around. It's like the promo bus.
Yeah, Jenny put it up. Jenny put it up. Because she's from the ATL, so ATL got some love. I mean, I like how a lot of states are getting love, you know. But
Yeah,
we're just used to having a party.
we're
That
spoiled.
we're spoiled,
We're
and
we're
we
being
know.
yeah, we're kind of being the babies right now. But
Yeah,
I think New York. I think the second time around, I think we should definitely keep our eyes open because it would be kind of corny to do it round two in LA. You
yeah,
know, given that Michael was, I think they could have done a lot more. Maybe the Apollo Theater could have been more big on bringing in some of the audience. I was mainly concerned that, you know, Apollo wasn't like just going to be silent and they went radio silent. So not to be messy, but it's just like, come on, this is where they did their big performance. This is where they got to see their idols and became who they became as the Jacksons. So I guess I figured they were going to participate with the movie a little bit, do something. The brothers come back and, you know, show love to Harlem, and
yeah.
it just didn't happen.
Hey, listen, there's always round two. There's always, I think someone said Michael Jackson's last performance was at the Apollo. I might be wrong, but I think that's an actual fact. And we know so this is an opportunity to bring it home. Of course, the last time the brothers performed, if I'm not mistaken, was Madison Square Garden. So we could make it a New York thing. That would be nice, maybe find a way to open up Studio 54 again. Like, y'all could turn it up, you
Oh,
know.
well.
Honestly, like if
Yeah.
life wasn't so chaotic, I'm sure I would be in LA right now. And I was even tempted to go because found out. the premiere is actually a damn off already. But then it was just like, nah, just stay still. Like, just stay still. I've had more blessings being still than to drive
Yep.
myself nuts chasing stuff. So I was just like, nah, let me just find my popcorn buckets and just find my happy little things that make, because those things make me equally happy too. It's like, oh, I got my bucket, But I was tempted because they had a sign up yesterday. I forget the name of it. It's like Lido or something. The point is, we got into a industry party with this place, this site.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I
Yeah,
know
but I was like, you
exactly
already
what you're
know a last minute LA booking trip is gonna be a lot of money. And I'm like, nah, don't do that. Save your money, be
Oh,
responsible.
that same site. So okay, so um, Lionsgate, because for the most part, I wasn't sure about going to LA because, like you mentioned, it's just the cost and everything. I wasn't trying to go, you know, take my way, take myself out there. But I'm persistent. So when Lionsgate was just giving me information, but wasn't trying to give me details that they were gonna give me tickets or get me in there, they then tells me, oh, they'll hook some things up. But it was just like it's too last minute. I reached out to you guys back in on February 2nd. Like, come on, you got to give people time because you're coming from a whole different state. But that site you're talking about, I told so many people about it because if you're in the LA area, it's like, come on, like, it gives people an opportunity that would have never gotten the opportunity to see it. So I try to share as much as I can, but now they're at capacity and they tell me stop sharing.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
we
It's
can't
it's
share anymore.
tricky. It's so tricky. And it's like, for now, we'll just chill. Like, cause I was just like, cause I also want to be happy. Even though we're in New York, it's still chaotic. Like I brought 2 bags today, and then I had to pick up. I might have to get another wig, and then there's an outfit I forgot I never wore, but I can't find it. So I was like, could
Mm-mm.
you imagine me trying to like do all this and I'm flying out? Just chill out.
Yep. Yep.
I definitely wasn't mentally ready, and honestly, I didn't get physically better until yesterday. So I was just like, could you imagine having issues with your health and you're trying to fly and
Oh
not chill
no.
out?
Yeah. Too much. Too much.
Hell yeah, like, like, just be happy for the ones who got the blessings and hope there's other opportunities. I'm gonna throw it out there though.
Hmm.
If there's any YouTuber that I think that should get hooked up, it's MJ Fangirl. I'm gonna say that 1,000 times because she's just that girl, like, almost 50K followers, a awesome community, great content, um, as a
Yeah.
beautiful, just kind person, and most important, she lives in LA already,
Yeah.
so that's the only like, everyone else, I was like, "Oh, I recognize this person. Oh, yeah, I seen them on TikTok," but I was like, shout out to Brandon. I knew Brandon was gonna make that red carpet. He did his thing
He
for
was on top
freaking
of it.
the biopic. Like, Brandon's hustle is to be commended.
Yeah.
But I just, I wish there's one moonwalker, I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to see. It was because I saw Hector Bajor from Paris. Even Red Jackson, I would have liked to see. Red Jackson's in London.
Uh-huh.
Um, uh, and of course, so I would say, yeah, MJ Fangirl and Red Jackson, I would have loved to have seen those two. He could, Red could have been chose for London, of course, MJ Fangirl's not too late. LA still have a couple of days. But,
Yeah.
a lot of people were like, "Yo, where's MJ Fangirl?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know who's making the list." I'm like, "How you not know who this girl is?"
Okay, so like so let me just be transparent to your audience right now. I really am a big MJ Fangirl fan. So when I saw like we were talking about it like a year and a half before there was like it was a major content creators. Like in my opinion, I just watch all the OGs. I watch everybody that has been standing the test of time, creating content, and it just really really took me by surprise that she wasn't in Germany.
Right.
I was really taken back. And besides, I was putting in the work to the point that NJ Fangirl was just like, it's okay. It's okay. Because I mean, like I said, I used to help out a lot with marketing, used to help out with just getting people in the right places. I feel like I'm the Clarence Avon of this generation. I really believe I want to be. And so I find it really odd when Black people can't get into spaces. I don't like it. And so when I reached out to Lionsgate, I reached out to the company that handles press, and I was like, what's going on? And, I got a confirmation. I don't know. I don't want to tell too much of the business, but I got a confirmation. They knew who she was. That was the insanity. They were
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, she can, like, I'll give you everything. And I even show her all the emails because I did it. I did it without her consent because I'm like, listen, girl, let me do it because I know she's juggling everything. I just did it. And the fact that they knew who she was, and it didn't dawn on them to make sure all the things was cleared for her to go to Germany was insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, how do you overlook someone like that? But you
It
knew
worked
exactly what
so
their brand was
hard.
about.
Yeah. 'Cause she
So,
was doing content when there was no content. Remember last year, it was so like, there was nothing to talk about, but she was talking.
yep.
So it's like she's always been in this space even when there's nothing to talk about. And I'm like, well, hopefully, if you can't do it Monday, round 2, because I'm like, listen, I'm such a fan. Hold on. In my office, and this is always on my desk, I have a sunflower, and then I printed out her stuff, and I like,
Wow.
because she actually got me to keep from quitting. I was this close to leaving the YouTube space because for those who do Jackson Family or Michael Jackson channels, it's such a challenge for reasons that doesn't even make sense to me. So I have multiple channels, and it's just like I know for a fact this one's struggling uniquely in a way that I was just like, why am I here? And
Mm,
then she was like, "Nah, it's not about how many people who watch. It's the community that you're building and the people that appreciate you." And it's just like, and then she was just teaching me how to like separate the channels so the algorithm would perform a little bit better, and just really being a really helpful person because she's busy in real life. She's always been busy even before she became a mom and stuff. But I was just like, how dare she take time out of her busy schedule to help me? But she not only she kept me in this space, but she helped me to like thrive, like how to make it work. Cause gadgetry used to be everything, juices, everything. And it was like, you can't have all this on one channel. You gotta start separating it. So I
mm.
tell you all that, it's not about her, it's about her and the community that she is part of. So it's just like I hope that she doesn't get overlooked in the future. Is there any other YouTubers that you were hoping to see in this space that you can think of?
My girl Tori, I'm surprised my
Yeah.
sis ain't here. Honestly, Tori would have been great. I don't know too many LA content creators. I know MJ Fangirl, who went on the limb to support her career, to do things. But what I've learned throughout the weeks is that it wasn't about the work of being with the line of work that you guys do. It was for lifestyle content creators. Honestly, influencers have a way of putting real people that do that line of work to the backseat. And it doesn't matter what genre or what field a person is doing. Say, for instance, someone's doing something for hair care. You get an influencer that's super popping, they're going to dominate and take your slot. That's why people don't
True.
understand there's a difference between influencers and content creators. Because content creators are doing something specific to influence their audience, to make their audience feel comfortable. Influencers is literally doing the opposite. They're trying to take you away from, or trying to show you another way. And so
Yeah.
these lifestyle and it's fine. It's like it's great. I was happy to see some. MJ content creators, I learned about some people. Someone mentioned in the chat Joseph Moonwalker.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
never heard
yeah.
of this person, but that it's good that there was some recognizable names in there. But
Yeah.
that's how they do it. They select a few, and some are left, in the shadows. So hopefully, for the
Yeah.
second one, it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, because I was just like, I was like, oh, what happened? And like I said, so it was Red, Tori, MJ Fangirl. I was like, oh, that would have been nice because I'm not sure if you're familiar with Red. Red is the kid from London, and he did
Mhm.
like a 12-hour live. This epic girl, you would have been on the floor. It was epic, and he had
Wow.
like live interviews back to back, like it was a freaking telethon.
You
And I'm
did.
like, huh? It was. And he's young. He's in high school still.
What?
Yeah, actually, Red did this awesome video with Jenny from Ohio. And I think the thumbnail was like, oh, he took us to Toys R Us, but it was sharing some awesome stories, like a couple of things that even I didn't know. Because even though Jenny has been on my channel as well, she was sharing even in deeper details. So I was like, that's what kind of made me late. I'm watching their stuff before I went on live. There's just some YouTubers I'm like, Hector, like I said, he was there. Oh, you know who was missing? And I was like, why? German
Who?
and Venice. German and
Oh
Venice.
my gosh.
What happened?
And the boy is from
He's from
Germany.
Germany. Why wasn't
Why
German
was
and
he not
Venice
there?
not in Germany? I was like, what?
What? What a missed opportunity for him. Like that's what I'm saying. They're like it's going over their heads. The ones that do this for real, for real. That's crazy. Germany and Venice. You
I
not
was
gonna
like,
take that man back home for a
from
second to go do what he
Germany?
do? Jeez
And he's
Louise.
very viral. I mean, don't get it twisted. There was some, like I said, there was some influencers that's like, oh, I know who that is. You know what I'm saying? Like they were on my FYP on the other. So I was like, all right, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like they represented really well. Um, but it would have been nice to have some of the people that have been building the community, especially in the last 5 years when nobody was really around. You
Yeah.
know, Germany, German and Venice, MJ Fangirl. There's a couple of King of Pop Radio. Like there were just like some people that held it down when nobody else did.
Right.
So yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully the right people will be like, let's make sure. And it's never too late. German and Venice live in LA too. Like yeah, they can fix at least two things now. So I was like, wait, how's German and Venice not in
One
Germany?
one thing is for certain, he's not gonna miss the opportunity. So he's gonna create his own, and that's usually what most people that do what they love, they're gonna create
Yeah,
their own opportunity no matter what. So I hope the creators that do this in LA come out strong and really show up, and don't let that discourage them. So for anyone that is in LA, I encourage you to be bold. And I always say this, and that it stuck with me for many years, is if you're not invited to a place, there's something wrong with the place sometimes. And maybe you need some time
yeah.
to evaluate that. But then you also open doors for yourself. I never believe that anyone has more significance than the next person.
I
And
absolutely agree. Hell yeah.
we are all equal. So the concept, and I think this is why I got into the world I got into, is because what makes you think that you're invited into those rooms and not this person or not me? So I learned a long time ago. I worked with one of the guys. What's that guy's name? Steve Manning. He was the Jackson Five fan club uh, president, and him and I had a conversation, and he mentioned that too. Sometimes people create invisible gates and doors to keep people out, and the people that are gonna make it more exciting, make it more lively, you know, should be there. Like the fans should be there. It should not feel industry-ish. So hopefully on Monday, um, they let people in, and because even though we had footage from Germany, it doesn't feel like it was exciting. I don't think we saw anything that was just like, oh wow, it felt
No,
industry-ish.
I thought Germany was dope, especially at the end when they all got together. I knew the fans who wouldn't leave the movie theater. I said those are the fans, the ones who won't leave that theater. and then the ones who were doing the Heal the World. Um,
Mhm.
it felt really really nice. Um, I know for a fact I couldn't have made it. It has nothing to do with money. I have to stay in New York. Like,
Mhm.
I'm like, it is what it is. But no, it felt nice, but it was an interesting choice to be in Germany. Though I was like, okay. And then when they went to Gary, then I was like, okay, now okay, we're good. Right, we're good. Like, guys, like Germany, did y'all really want us to go? Our passport's weak. Like, what?
I think because I think they did that because they introduced the bad stuff. And I think Germany, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, there's people that can fact check or do better with knowing these information, but I think Germany was very supportive of Michael. And I think that Germany was like the place where he did a lot of those concerts, and even the videos that with those concerts that we do see, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the purpose because I couldn't wrap my mind about it either. I'm like, that's Berlin? Why Berlin? So I think that has a significance to Michael, and his touring. That's what I'm assuming. So I
I
don't
mean,
know.
we know Germany loves Michael. Remember when they had the Thriller 40, and then they had their immersive experience? Like, we knew from that there was a relevance why they went there. It's clearly a strong fan base. But I think the concern I had was, because traveling is really challenging now. It was just like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like that, I'm not doing. It was too much, because then you got to figure out, well, do I have to get the special papers? Because one of my coworkers, they go to Europe a lot, and they're the ones that, oh, I need you need special papers for this and this and I'm like, it was just too much on top of whatever, traveling stuff in general. In general, like I even get annoyed when I have to go from like one state to the next. I'd be like, one of my relatives lives in Jersey, and I'd be like, oh my God, I gotta pack a bag. Like it's always a thing because you gotta make sure you have everything, your toiletries and stuff. So overseas is even more challenging because if you have one thing wrong, they're gonna charge you for your bag, or they're gonna make you throw your stuff out. We
Mm,
we women, us black women have special hair products, and when we need those products, and sometimes you can't get it when you leave certain
very
parts.
true.
So the point is, I was like, I'm not killing myself or even trying to kill myself, because people were asking me, did you even apply for anything? I said, no, I knew I wasn't leaving New York. I think the minute, remember, I used to have the videos
That's
where I was like, oh, I'm manifesting going to the premiere. That's when I thought the premiere was in LA. When they said Germany, I said, New York is looking real good. And I literally was just like, we're done. Like, I mentally was just like, mm-mm.
Yeah, I think the states they're gonna come back when the second one rolls out. I hope so.
Yeah, I was like, what? Again, shout out to Europe. Yes. I know every time when New York or even LA does stuff, people overseas be like, oh, what about us? So it's like, oh no, now we know how that feels. It's like, whoa, now I know how it feels when you can't get to something. But it looked dope. I really liked it. Can't wait to see what LA does. I do know someone who got picked. I can't say, but look out for the people that I rock with contents. You're gonna see at least some familiar faces that did get picked for LA. But yeah. Um, that's funny. Leah, why do you sound like you're singing when you talk? LOL. It feels like I I just heard a banger.
Oh God. I don't know. I mean, I'm a singer. I mean, I think maybe
She is. Yes, she
that's it.
is. Am I coming? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. My life is so different now. Um, yeah, thank you. I think we all should have collectively as a fan base be like, where's MJ Fangirl? Where is she? Um, have fun at the fan parties. I feel like we can get creative ourselves and don't need some. You know what? So the good
I
fun
like that.
you mention that there's a girl named King of Pop Radio. She is doing a party Saturday, April 25th in Queens. And there's another party in Philly, right? Blues Away. Am I not
Hmm.
mistaken? She's doing a party. DJ Spinner's doing a party. Who else? There's a couple of fans that took the initiative to do it. Um, so yes, and I will be at least at one of those parties. So, and if you can't make it to the party, most of these people have options where you can still cash app them because they're not going to make a profit. They're just trying to give the fans something special to do over the weekend. Okay. So it's just something I'm sorry, I don't have any slides today, um but I know for King of Pop Radio, I did put something up already, but we could do refreshers maybe Wednesday of what's going on for the fans that were kind enough to make this possible. MJ
Mhm.
Fangirl was the first MJ fan I discovered on YouTube. A lot of people have these I was like, "What?" She's awesome. Red Jackson wouldn't ask some tough questions. Shout out to him as well. Yeah, he's doing big things too. Um, oh man, it's been 17 years since Michael passed away. And give a shout out to Michael Jackson though. He has a epic win this year. Good
Oh,
biopic, good vibes, just good everything. Like I said, you always gonna have some haters and people that are not well informed about things, but overall, it's just been a good feeling.
he's a force. He's a force that, I mean, he wrote the song. Don't start you good enough. They can't stop him. They cannot stop him. And like there were so many like attempts throughout the rollout. Like you cannot stop this from moving. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy. Like, what are some people's like in the chat? Like, what are you excited about the most regarding this film?
Heck
Um,
yeah.
I mean, I think I can never get over the story of the Jacksons and how it became, and I hope there's some other details that we, you know, didn't know. Perhaps that was in even Jermaine's book because I read his book, and just little things that we didn't know about him that would be really fun. Or even Catherine's story about him like singing to or beatboxing to the washing machine. That would be nice, little things like that. But them even giving us this snippet of we're going past, you know, um, Thriller is that's exciting. I can't wait, you know.
That was the beginning of the end too. Like, I think he had a nice run from Thriller to Bad, and then around Bad, that's when his life started changing and the media started making him, a spectacle and turn against him. Because I mean, I'm sure him having Neverland has spawned a lot of jealousy and just, weird things to say about people. I mean, and I don't think people understand no one worked like Michael Jackson. Like you want Neverland, you want all that fame, then you're going to be a prisoner of that fame. And none of you guys would be willing to sacrifice that. And you have to stay nice. And you still got to be kind of fans cuz most of y'all would have lost it already. Like how many celebrities had meltdowns, like this gets to be a lot. I think it's very very hard to be in the public eye. I don't care who you are. So let's give Michael props for being I remember in Jenny's interview with Red, she was just like Michael would just let people in the house, let them, they would hang out with him and everything. And the more he saw you, the more comfortable he got. And I'm like, could you imagine like a celebrity like, oh yeah, come on in. What? You don't even know who I am. It's
For
awesome.
sure.
Um it's always great to meet new fellow MJ fans, though I gotta say, you aren't as big a you're not you're not as big a MJ fan as I am.
I'm
You
sure.
might you might be right. We're just chatting, me trying to get used to coming back on live because you know what I noticed? Like once so when I remember I was going live like every day, all day, da da da. So that became a habit. But then when you stop doing things, then the new thing becomes the habit. And I found myself making a habit of not doing stuff after work. And I'm like, now you gotta come back. That's your money.
Hmm.
You gotta come back, so you gotta pay your bills. but I thank God so much for the rest, because I feel like, I know this sounds weird. I feel like my life is going to change in ways that I never thought it would, and I think God made me rest, because my life has changed a lot. Um, I'm not sure what I could say yet, but I got a brand deal and I got a collaboration, and um things are so, because of that whole Ryan Gosling thing that changed everything overnight.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't think I could ever go to the movie theater looking like a bum ever again. That's what I'm gonna say. But it's cool. It's so cool because
Nah.
you're like, what? Because the people who did the movie let me keep that shout out on his thing. And I'm like, you never know what one thing will change your life overnight. But what I've learned, no, whatever doors are closed to you, those doors are meant to be closed. And the ones that are going to open, they're going to be something as silly as you being in a movie theater screaming over someone else. So it's just like
Mhm.
everything that I've ever gotten this year, and it's only April, has been over something really simple and small. I'm like, wait, what? So you kind of understand how God works and
Yes.
how alignment really goes. So I'm like, any door that has closed,
It's
other
meant
ones
to be
have opened.
closed.
Yeah, it's like other ones have opened. That's all. It's like it wasn't, those doors weren't you. That's not for you to walk through at all.
That's right.
So just in case people are feeling a little salty, oh, what about, I get it. We're spoiled fans. We're used to getting what we want. Can't have it all the time. That's one thing I know about the fandom. You might see me at an event one year, but then you might see Tori at an event another year, and then you might see Shelly. But it's rare you see us do everything all the time. Um, money, time, sacrifice, whatever. There's so many when you travel, it's a lot that goes with that. A lot. Do you have enough PTO? Do you have, it's a lot. Berlin was amazing. I heard so many great things about it. It looked amazing. It really did. Especially with there were pockets of fans. You could tell who the fans were, and you could tell who the industry people were. And I'm like, yeah, keep rolling the footage on the fans. I see the fans.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see them. They were penetrating through some of that industry. Like, have you? I mean, me and Leah have been to industry parties. I never understood the point of people like trying to like connect with people at a party like that. Listen,
Mm.
enjoy yourself. Like, what? Like, I've never left the industry party and be like, we're about to have a business. I'm sure people have it. I just never had the opportunity.
It's
I'm
weird.
more yeah, I like to dance. I don't drink anymore, but when I did drink, open bar, let's go. Like,
Yeah. It's funny because I didn't know until I went um to see Janet, and Janet had a party after in which my uncle worked with her, so I was invited to go. And what's Gabrielle Union? I didn't realize how much of a fan she was. She was not acting like a celebrity at all. She forgot who she was. She was
that's what's
fanning out
up.
on Janet. She was dancing to the music, and she was like the first person I ever seen at one of these parties that just let loose. And I was so like, I love her. Like I'm like, I really love this girl. And
Exactly. Like,
it's so stiff at those things. Like people don't understand. Like you're not missing out on anything like that when you go to those things. You're not. It's really that's why Michael always wanted to be with the fans. Even when he did the big, New York City and him stand. I think that okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, we might have a rollout in New York. Because think about that iconic moment of him standing. What's the record store? Him
yes,
standing there with
Tower, no,
that
not
blue.
Tower Records. It was the other one.
Yes. So I
Oh,
think
I
we might
forget the
have something.
name. It was another big record store, but yes, it was a Times Square.
Yeah. So I think even Michael loved to watch us be like immersed in him. Or like even of course we can all agree that Martin Bashir was very bad, but even when he was in the car and just watching his fans try to get his attention and dance and stuff like that. Michael loved his fans. He loved just watching us enjoy being around each other.
Yeah.
So I think that I think that there's so much more to come, and I think the fans, and even this week, is gonna Oh my gosh, we're gonna see so much greatness between like just with the fans. I think we're gonna really show
At
up and
the
show out.
movie, listen, I don't have any of my stuff queued up, but I highly so this is what I learned in being grounded for almost a year and a half, right? Just stuck in New York. Um, you as individuals, you are the magic, right?
Yes.
So, I literally show up at a movie theater almost every week, like it's a premiere, and it's honestly the best thing I ever done. Like when you get a compliment from another New Yorker in the middle of the freaking street about your outfit, no, really, you made it. Because New York is like, you know how we are. It's just like my Mario outfit the other day. I did the Luigi. Like young people were like, "Oh my god, your outfit," and I'm like, "What?" It made my day. I wasn't even seeing it coming. So it's just like, and I love being in any form of cosplay or anything with color and whimsy. Like that's my real joy. And so I say that, when you go to your Michael Jackson screenings this week and next week or whatever, show up as if you're at a premiere. It's not about being like peacock or nothing, but it's just like moonwalkers have something in them that's a little bit unique from other fan bases. They're very, very creative and they're over the top. This is one time I'm encouraging you to go all out because it's like I think there's going to be more people like you in there. So you're not even going to be. I mean, when I get dressed, 90% I'm by myself, like the only person. Like Mario, I will give them props. The first 2 weeks, we were seeing a bunch of people with caps and stuff. But we're in week 3. I was the only person dressed up. I was like, I don't care. Like anything I do, any you name the movie, I've dressed up for every one of them, and it's because it's like, okay, I can't afford to travel, but I can still bring magic no matter where I go. I'm gonna make the best of this situation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, and I think I found myself, you know, I found myself in this. I used to always be this girl when I was a teenager. I don't even know what like I always think about like what made you change because you were whimsical, and then I guess other adults got in my head, and I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Like I'm gonna do what I want to do. I've always been big on fashion. I've always been very like bold, and I feel like myself. I start doing things that make you feel good about waking up in the morning, like if you have kids, make them a special breakfast. Like, Superman Day was yesterday. Y'all could, make do a little Superman theme out. Like, make your life as wonderful as you want to make it. That has nothing to do with traveling to Berlin or Gary or LA. You could do it where you're at in your own home, in your own space, in your own little town. Like once you start making magic in your own space, then it'll track what it needs to attract. That's why I was just like, I know I'm supposed to be grounded because then I found myself. You can't find yourself if you're always zigzagging everywhere. I'm like, yo, like I found that I might have to be in New York another year. And I'm like, I'm up for it. Because then that means another version of myself is going to be coming out again. So I was like, shout out to New York. Y'all are dope. Like, because I was like, I would say like every other movie fit someone stopping me. And I'm like, New York? Y'all are mean. Y'all actually nice now. Is London going to do a premiere? They did something already. I just don't know if it was a premiere, but they had some kind of screening. And I only know that because someone texted me and they said someone from London had saw a screening and they were good with it. But I don't know if it was a premiere. Sometimes you have to slow down and create your own change. Yes, the travel industry is it's so hard and it's so
Yes.
expensive. And I'm just like, financially, I'm still having struggles that are, like, so unexpected because I was good, that's what I'm gonna say, and now I'm not, but I'm not the have y'all seen the YouTubers that were making 10 to 20, 40,000 a month, and now they're all broke? Because things
Yeah.
are shifting, things because so you're so used to having so much, you never even take account that you have to take accountability for your money. So I said, if people were making 30, 40,000 a month are struggling, can you imagine people making, like, 3,000 a month? Like, it's night and day. Aw, thanks. You ladies got the mojo. You got this. Thank you. Thank you to my co-host who got a very last minute invite. Is anybody else surprised that
Oh my gosh.
I should have read this, but
Tiffany.
yeah, I was surprised. I was like, well, cute kid though.
That
He's giving me
baby.
Michael Jackson energy, that's for sure. We haven't maybe another Jafar 2.0 in the making.
That baby was running him ragged on that red carpet. Oh goodness. It was so
Uh,
funny watching Jermaine run it up and down like that. That baby was
yeah.
dancing. He had the Jackson blood. He's ready to be right on the stage.
Offhand, do you know where the Philly party is? I'm gonna put Philly, MJJ, Michael Jackson. Let's say April 20. Is that 25th, right? Because hopefully that will bring all that information up. No, of course not. Michael Jackson, Philly. Did she put her company name on it? Blues Away? Blues Away. No, that's the only downfall of not having a presentation. No. Offhand, I don't know.
Someone said they purchased 2 tickets to see film alone back to back. That's amazing. See, this is where like the love and where it really matters, because that's like, I know I'm gonna see it more than once. That's for sure.
Oh,
I
heck
know
yeah.
I'm not like, it's not gonna just be this week. I'm gonna see it many, many times. And speaking of that, Jafar, this is like, he's taking such a break from his own music, and it's really incredible how people have just welcomed him with open arms, and doing this role, as well as just loving on him, just in general, just his demeanor. I think even just doing press and him having to do the red carpets and just see the calmness throughout all of the chaos. This is all such a new world for him, I'm sure. And he's a handsome looking guy. Like, I'm just like, okay, Jafar, you know,
Jafar is very huge overseas though, like huge.
really,
Hmm. So now he's going to experience this in the U.S. I mean, of course, when he's at like so when he was in Havenhurst, he did hide. I still found you, but you know, it's going to be an adjustment because like it's it's different. Fame is really different. Even being popular is really different. So you know, um, make sure Grandma Catherine and Reby is praying over you for your protection because it's very tricky. Like it's going to be tough, Jafar. Just you got this. You got this. How much is gas where you are? I pay 5.25 a gallon. I don't know any drivers in the chat, and if so, how much are you guys paying a gallon? I heard that's another factor. The gas went up. I know the food went up. I got frozen blueberries, meat for Giga, but the meat was 50%, so whatever. Meat for Giga, and I think like vegan mayo and something else, and it was like $26. And I'm like, what?
wow.
Yeah. So it's two things of meat, blueberries, vegan mayo. No, I think that was it. Four things, $26.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the meat was 8, the blueberries were like 8. I was like, I didn't get anything. What are we talking about? Hot mess. I was gonna get the bread, but the bread I'm supposed to eat, it was like $9 a loaf. And I said, we don't need that bread now, do we? We don't need that bread.
Never
Um,
mind.
I think it was like, yeah, almost $9 a loaf. That's crazy.
Insane.
I gotta pay more money to have less crap in my food. How awesome is that? I am
Mm-mm.
most excited about this biopic will not only reignite Michael's mania, but casuals will want to learn more about him and try it. Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
That-
casual fans though. They're crushing it. That's what I'm gonna say. They're crushing it. Like they are standing up for Michael in ways that I never thought a casual or a new fan would do. Because
yeah.
they're seeing the BS. They're seeing it. You could try to stop me, but it won't be a thing that y'all can be MJ. All right, you funny. So, say so you have a mouthful of truth right there. Okay. I'll be excited when I get to go, right? You're in jury duty. Boo. The Jacksons were raised to be humble and down to earth. They seem to be nice, most pleasant people to be around. Yeah. You know what the Jacksons remind me of? For those who just got into the chat, I remember I'm very grateful for food because I remember when I first got on my own that I had no food and I lost a bunch of weight because I refused to go back to my mama's house. So, like, especially since times are tough, I'm even more grateful that I have food because I remember, like, if anyone's ever gone to bed hungry for months at a time, it's a very unsettling feeling. I used to survive off those little ramen noodles that were like 25 cents, or like
Mhm.
Wendy's back then used to have like $4 for $1. And so this guy used to always treat me to dinner when we went to business school. And I'm just like, and that's all, sometimes that's all the food I would have though. Now that I know how to cook, get some dried beans, some, green peppers and onions, and you can make a lot just with that. But I didn't know how to cook back then. So yeah, like, so I say that, the Jacksons came from very humble beginnings, and it makes me feel like a part of them will always be rooted in Gary. They're going to remember being the kids that had 11 people in the small house. No matter how successful they became, they always give me the impression they're never going to forget what it was to live in Gary. So that's the coolest thing about him. You could feel that, and what I love about Prince, because he was doing some stuff in Gary as well, he appreciates the blood and tears that his family had to endure to get to that legacy. Like, he knows what they did was a really big thing. So hopefully Jafar's soaking all this stuff in because, even though everybody has struggle, including the Jacksons, um, the first gen has a very unique story like no other of pain and suffering. Remember, like how they said they would leave after school and then they would play to 2, 3 in the morning and then they would have to get back. I'm like, could you imagine going to school doing homework and then you're playing in some little town and then you have to go back to bed? Like, that's and you're a kid. Like, that's crazy. I just oops, did we lose Leah? I think we lost her, y'all. Maybe she had to go. Leah, if nothing else, come back in. um I just can't wait to see his life in cinematic way. I heard, by the way, guys, I heard this is shot epically well. Like, that was one of the things that the normies were talking about, how cinematic it looks. You got that wish, check, you're good. I never got to see him live or experience anything like this. And the fact that Jafar, his nephew, is making, yeah, Jafar being part of this is amazing. Um, Hope they release making of his movie a few months later. That would be cool. Purchased 2 movies to see the film alone back to back. Oh, yes, she did read that earlier. I enjoy seeing videos of people dancing to MJ. Yes, I really do. I hope MJ knows how unconditional his fans love him. Even in the darkest times, it's hard to put in words how much I love him because he literally saved my life, and I can't say more than that. Oh, isn't that so amazing how, like, none of us really met Michael, but yeah, he touched us in a good way, like, through his music, through everything. It's just amazing. I thought that was his grandson, but then remembered that Jermaine dude has I can't. Yes, Jermaine has some kids. I heard Jermaine's little boy is Abul and he's 3 and he's the youngest. Yeah, he's the youngest, second gen. Um, he said he's not really as passionate about music anymore. Are you talking about Jafar? If so, spill the tea. In Tennessee, she's paying Texas, I'm sorry, Texas, she's paying 3.56 a gallon. That's still a lot. Uh did you see the clip where Jackie saw the movie and he was crying? Yes, I did. Jackie made me cry. I was like, Jackie, stop crying. Jafar's little brother is so cute. I can't stop watching him. He is adorable. Someone sign him up for dance classes. Theaters will be new homes as soon as the movies come out. I'm gonna watch it back to back to back. Yes. Um don't No, read through your comment because I know I missed a couple. Georgie, what's up, hon? Food is more in New York than Buffalo. Many years ago, I think. Yeah. So even in so that overpriced bread that I like at Whole Foods is somewhere in a um bougie boutique in the Bronx. So I'm actually going to be with a relative tomorrow. We're just gonna go to that little deli to get the bread there. Cause so in New York, if you're in the heart of New York City, the food is a lot more money than like if you were in Brooklyn or the Bronx or whatever. But yeah, Buffalo, I'm sure is even cheaper. So we lost you, Leah.
Yeah, my phone just overheated. I don't know if it was too much. Um, I don't know, but I'm on my laptop now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
I always wonder what would wait. I always wonder what would a Michael would be if he never left Gary. It's a whole different
Mm.
life. It's a whole different life. I'm like, I was gonna put that in AI, but no one can predict what somebody would do or be if they made a different decision. Because
I don't
there's
think
so many factors to like someone, you know what I'm saying? That's it's too much. So it's like
his
whoever
father would have had to totally been a different person. Catherine would have totally been a different mother for that to be anything different, you know? Like everything would have changed.
hmm She had 9 very attractive kids. I'm sure there would have been some stories.
Yeah.
She had
I
beautiful church. Has
can't
beautiful.
imagine him being a mailman or a teacher. It wouldn't. And I think that speaks volumes to a lot of our reality and a lot of our stories and existence. That you know we all have our presence are supposed to be known, and we just have to fight so hard to like live out what God really intended for us. You know,
True. And I think that's what they were supposed to be. They
that's
were
what they're
supposed to
supposed to do.
be this legendary musical family, American family. As much as I respect the Jackson family, I hope they don't cut corners on the raw authentic, I can't even say it, of the behind the scenes struggles and journey. I think we're gonna get little vignettes here and there, like American Dream. But I'm telling y'all, just going by my own life, you just can't say everything. I think
Hmm.
they're going to put up what's going to move the story along. But I heard extremely good things about this film, like really good. Um, and guess what? We're going to be seeing it in a couple of days, man. Like this is where it gets even better. Um, do we feel like all the time? It does. Even though Michael died, there's something supernatural about how we as fans interact of his legacy like he's still here. Have y'all seen the TikToks and YouTubes and shorts and reels of people, I'm going to say 25 years old and under, getting excited for this movie as if Michael is still alive? I've never seen nothing like it. Like, like either y'all were like 5, 10 max, you know, when Michael died, and y'all are excited. Like I think that's such a flex of Michael's legacy growing to to this level in depth. So to answer your question, yeah, it does still feel like Michael's with us. His music is still with us. So, and Michael always said he wanted. This is what Michael wanted. To be honest, he did. So that's what's up. Yes, Jafar said in an interview that he's more interested in acting now. Shut up. I need to watch all these interviews. You know what? Maybe with a capital M, maybe I will have a separate live just watching a bunch of stuff. And if they shut it down, they shut it down. You know what I'm saying? That's a bargain. Cal's like, I'll take that 325 gas. What's love got to do with it is one of my favorite biopics. That's a good pick because it offers so much personal information in the characters outside of what we already know about them. Tina, yeah, that's actually a good pick. I like that biopic. Do you think that Jackie looks like Tito? No, most of the Jacksons don't look like each other. The only one that look alike to me is Randy and Michael. And of course, like Michael looks
Yeah.
like his sisters, but I'm talking about the boys. The boys don't look like each other at all.
I think
Yay!
Jermaine kind of like he kind of looks like Michael a little bit, and like when they smile a little bit.
No,
I
not
don't
to me.
know. I see it sometimes. Maybe
Jermaine
I
has
want to
the
see it.
underbite. Jermaine has the
Yeah,
underbite. They all have very unique faces.
they do.
I'm like, no. They all have
The
beautiful
girls are
smiles
all
though.
the girls look like triplets. Like
The girls go
Catherine
like,
just
hell yeah.
copied and pasted all the girls' face. So I don't mean to get biblical on y'all, but I think because it's not just me saying. I see some TikTokers have said it too, and I saved it because someone said, "Is Michael like? Do we still think Michael's here with us?" And I think, and other fans on TikTok I've seen said that they believe that Michael was the archangel or like a symbolic archangel, like in the Bible, because you have to. I think, having a global angelic symbolism of being a messenger of God. And I remember like he had said on the Oprah interview that he is the instrument of nature. You know, these like you don't hear people talk like that. And you don't hear people talk like that anymore for sure. You don't even hear people being humanitarians anymore, people doing things for the world. And then his whole thing of wanting to make sure the like thing we got it right. And I don't know if people remember, and this is it. He said we have to get it right. We have like 4 years to get it right. That was a very specific thing to say. So, and the world has never been the same since. So I think he came here to give a message, and people try to taint the message, taint the messenger actually. And
Right.
I don't think he was supposed to stay here long. I think he was 50 years is a very specific number too. His number being seven. Like it was just it's so much alignment that um, he was supposed to be here for a very specific assignment. And it hurts a lot to think about. I'm like, dang, you know, he really just was here for a very short period of time. And I feel for a lot of younger fans that are just discovering him and not able to even like, they wouldn't even know what the feeling was to be in the same time where he was like, here. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because it's not a coincidence that you guys feel like he, we're still talking about him 17 years later, almost 17 years later. We're still talking about somebody whose presence feel more alive than ever, more alive than any artist today. Like we talk about him and his music forever has a sound that just penetrates generations. It doesn't stop. You don't have any music that does that today. I'm sorry, you just don't. This artist is just transcending time, and that's what he wanted it to do. you know. But that's a very specific calling to have on your life for you to keep going and keep going. And that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. And, you know, I just want to share that's you're not crazy if you feel like he was
Yeah.
really designed. And I think this image of him being um you know I don't know, I think he was an angel. I think he really genuinely was something that was sent here, sort of
Yeah.
like how people think of like a Mother Teresa, stuff like that. And I think we needed him in that way to really be in, let's think about it, Hollywood. And he wrote his songs about how what he thought about Hollywood. And we knew he was in the heart, like he was spit out into the heart of it all, like all of the chaos. That industry was so sick. He knew so much things, and they had to turn it around on him. Even him using his home as a safe ground for kids, because even though he made it for himself, but knowing, we can't talk about the the files, but him knowing that that was happening, that really is like a significant thing. Just leading the kids away from that environment, and it's just it's insane. But yeah, I don't think he's ever gonna stop growing fans. I don't think he's ever gonna stop influencing people. I think that because that message still lives on, in the sense that we here are here for love. Where God is love, and
There's something much more bigger than what we have our feet planted on right now, you know. So uh, yeah, the instrument of nature. I remember I had a guitar and I wrote that on my guitar because I thought that was such a beautiful way to explain yourself. Like how would you describe yourself in this world and your purpose? It's like instrument of nature. Wow, yes you are. You were in fact just that, you know. So yeah.
That's actually beautiful. She was like, I'll put some thought into this thought. um, love both. Wait, both both love and a big fan of Michael and Brittany. The King and Princess of Pop. The media towards them is so cruel. Can't wait for the movie. What do you think they will show in part two? Well, I think part two is the toughest part because now we know they can't talk about the allegations, but we still have, like someone had mentioned, the Super Bowl, um, the that record. There's a couple of things that happened that were super positive, but then again, the biggest villain in that second part of his life is the media. So it's
Yeah.
just like I hope they could address the allegations in some way or form because then that's gonna look sus if it's not addressed. But I do understand the legal um limits, but I definitely don't know what they're gonna cover. Michael's the last last 2 decades were kinda dark, yo. Like, it got real ugly once the Dangerous Tour started, and then he started fighting people with history and blood on the dance floor. Like, Michael was on a microphone, slap down on that, and then, he comes out with Invincible, then he starts fighting the record labels, and then, of course, more fake allegations come, and then I feel like that last trial literally killed Michael Jackson. So even though he, didn't die until June 25th, 2009, I felt like he died that day. Even though he was found innocent, something about Michael's whole energy had changed. So I don't know what they're going to cover. I said Michael's second half was super dark, like super freaking dark. And the only angels of light, beacons of light he had was his mom and his kids. So, and the fans, of course, but I'm talking about like, when those things when the fans are not around, it was his kids and his mom. So I don't know. I don't know what it would cover. I think the challenges will be way, way, way harder with that second half because it's like, what are you guys are going to share? What are you guys going to like, make all Hollywood and nice and pretty, even though we're like, y'all cap, all cap. Like, what are you doing? So I don't know. What do you think the second half would be about if they went there?
I think that it gives them a chance to step up and address some things. I think this would give him a chance to fight back and tell his side of what they, that's it's the family, it's his attorneys. These people are part of the film. So I think this gives them a chance to get the record straight. Um, of course, in the best way they could possibly do it without it having to um, cause anybody to be harmed, of course. But um, I think it is important that they do this in a tasteful manner, but don't be afraid of the truth. I think they really should just be honest. Um, we all know that it was we. It's not. It's public information. It's nothing to feel like they have to. They have to dress up. It's just but do it in a tasteful manner. Do it in a tasteful manner, and I think giving that we don't even know. I'm kind of curious how they're telling the story, like whose point of view it is, and I think that I'm not a filmmaker, but I really do analyze storytelling. So I think the first movie will give us an indication of who the story is being told through. So I think like if it's being told through the eyes of Michael, then it should go just fine for the second movie because we get to see the insides of how he felt and how perhaps maybe how he expressed himself to the family. I heard that Michael, when he would get upset, I think it was in the book. Okay, I don't know if this is a reputable book, but the rabbi's book. I think he had some point was he was Michael's counsel, and he expressed that Michael would throw things. He would get upset. When he got upset, he would, of course, that is a great release for anybody, but his mom would see him throw things. Um, I think it would really be important for us to know those details and see things like how he was able to manage his frustration. And besides, it probably built some sort of illness in his body. Another thing, not to get graphic, but that autopsy, I mean, I looked at it one time and I just threw it away because I was just so disturbed that this man was really hanging on a thread. His body was, and I was actually saying this to a friend the other day, that the spirit is so strong. People realize like the body is just a physical thing to get you through this life. The spirit really keeps up the youthfulness of how the body looks. So I think that the fact that he even lasts for so long, to be honest, lets me know that the spirit was strong, and then those last years broke him. So I think they need to be honest. They need to tell the truth, and they can't be afraid. I think the fact that even Toya got silent over the years because and she knows the names. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of have some ideas of who's a part of it, but I don't want to say it because this is your life. But I think that because I'm getting scared just talking right now. It's just like this is hard. So I could just imagine what they're gonna have to go
Yeah.
through, how they're gonna weave out some stories, but they have to they have to do it. They have to do it.
Well,
And
we'll see. I think I see. I'll be honest. I think they're gonna play it safe. Like most biopics leave a lot of critical stuff out, so we'll see. Because I was like, I feel like part one is the celebration and the elevation of Michael Jackson, but if we're being honest, the part two is the how they broke this man down. Like almost the whole. I'm not saying every aspect was dark, but a lot of it was dark. So I was just like, mm. And remember, he got married twice in the second half of his life. What was that like? So it's just like, I'm right now, like, you're right. We need to see part one to get a better idea, like, what's the point of view, what story we're trying to say. But I was like, if it's like most biopics, they're going to play it safe. It's going to be, it's going to be interesting. Like, I mean, have you ever watched Searching for Neverland? And I remember Michael Jackson was really upset about something. And he was tearing stuff apart, like you
yeah,
said. That was also through the perception of the bodyguard. So there's like you said, you hear things and you wonder like what's true, what's not true, and then, what would be in a biopic? Are we just gonna just keep doing the celebration of Michael's life and keep it like lightish and throw in a sprinkle of heavy here and there, or are we gonna tell the truth? And I be honest, I'm more on the side of A. Like I feel like it's going to be like, well, let's just focus on the good things. I mean, that's what kind of happens. Like, think of someone that you love that passed away, and even if the person did something really crappy or something really crappy happened, all of a sudden people kind of like throw those stories to the side and focus on the good, as you should. Like, who wants to pass over and you just focus on all the bad stuff about me? But I noticed, like, even with the people that passed away in my life, I was like, I noticed a lot of stories just went away mentally. Like, or like, I know there's one person in my life, they always bring up the bad about somebody, and I'm like, I'm not gonna focus on that. Like, I'm just not. Like, I think we like subliminally just start erasing some of those things, unless you're a victim of something. But I'm talking about like a normal, hey, I had a relationship with just someone who passed away, and that's like, you know what? We're going to skip this bad story because we don't want to remember them that way. So I don't know. But
yeah,
Michael's story is super layered, like super layered. The media was literally his biggest enemy.
I don't think they're gonna tell the truth and the whole truth because even the way that they talked about this film and even Marlon's super super positive. You can't break his positivity. So I think with the way that they're going to go about it, we'll play it safe. I think they're just going to roll out the. I think they're gonna focus more so on the music. I think they're gonna focus. They're gonna try because I think that's the way to kind of distract people. Because after that, it's like he went off to. I think they're gonna focus more on the tours and how he experienced the tour and like how he felt exhausted, how that
Mhm.
may have burnt him out. And I think if I'm not mistaken, the 1993 incident, that's he learned during while he was on tour, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I
Mhm.
mean, you guys know better than I do. I
No,
don't
no,
know
you're
about
right.
that.
It was Daniel's tour.
So I
Yeah.
think we might get a reaction. I think that it would not be a full on dialogue. I think it will be more visual. I think it would show devastation. It would be kind of corny if it's following the blueprint of Searching for Neverland because we could have just stayed with that. But honestly, I think the being that they are the American family of music, the I don't think that they're gonna do it. I don't think that the Jacksons are known to just be upfront and tell the details of their lives. And that is unfortunate because I believe that so many things could have helped him and prevent things if there was honesty. But we I just know that there's a lot of games that are played in the industry. It's people don't realize like his family is still going to be affected in the end. The kids, his siblings, his mom. There's a lot of mob stuff happening. There's a lot of things happening. I don't want to say,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's a lot of things happening. So this is why people put things in a hush hush. If there's not going to be any justice for real for Michael, then they're not going to tell the truth. Like if there's not going to be anything fighting back on what
No,
happened to him.
and I think that's why I think it's gonna go more like on the fluff side if we're going to a part 2, because I was just like, no biopic is raw like that. But and I do get it if that makes any sense. I do get it. Now that I'm dealing with elders that passed away and you learn stuff and you're like, "Wait, what?" Like and then you're just like, "No, we're not going to focus. That's not their legacy. That's part of the legacy." Cuz the problem with there is power in telling the truth, but there also could be damage and oversharing or over exposing. So I don't think they're gonna go that route, but we'll see. Like, I guess for now we'll get through part one. We'll have a review with all the people. I think I have 10 people on this channel, just see what everyone's thoughts are. And then when part two happens, to see how it flushes out. But if I was them, if there's going to be a part two, if you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all. That's all I'm going to say. Because I was just like, y'all better tread lightly. A lot of people are looking at that part too, like, what y'all going to say? They are expecting some rawness. If not all, like some, like make it make sense. Because there has been a systematic chipping at Michael, and I think that what led to all this. So it's just like, even in This Is It, if you look at that, like when I saw This Is It back in 2010, we as fans saw it as a celebration. But now that I've dealt with people who have literally died in front of me and seen what death looks like, I'm like, "No, that's a documentary of the man dying."
Mm,
Like, literally, his teeth were changing. I remember, I won't say the relative, but one of my relatives died in front of me, and their teeth changed. They had really pretty teeth, and I didn't realize when your body is going through something, the teeth start messing up.
yeah,
So I was just like, look at Michael's teeth, and towards the end, that wasn't the same teeth. It's just like, wait, what? Like super skinny. The relative that we see all the time, they're super skinny right now. So it's just like that was the documentary of a man dying.
yeah,
So it's just like call for what it is. But it's funny when I saw it in 2010, I didn't understand what I was seeing because I never saw death yet, at least not to that level. And then I was just like, "Oh, this is dark." Like that's like I remember they had King of Popcorn and they were showing This Is It. I said, "Shoot, you won't see me there. I'll be crying on the floor. I'll
Yeah.
be crying on the floor. It's not even my dad." So nah. Shout out to the fans who did it though, because I'd have been like, "That's one you y'all could have gave me the ticket for free." I'm like, I ain't gonna be in that one.
I remember being in the theater and I felt cold because I didn't feel the same way that people were so excited to watch. I felt exactly what you're saying. Like I didn't see, I saw a shell of a man trying
Yeah.
to get through these shows. So I mean, that's something they need to address too. It's so much
It's too
stuff.
much. It's like,
It's
and
too much.
it's
This man.
messy. I was like, y'all, let's see what y'all gonna do. Cause then, cause at the end of the day, everything's like a PR thing. I don't care what nobody say. So I was like, am I gonna watch it? Of course, it's Michael freaking Jackson. But I'm just kind of curious how they're gonna go about it. That's all. Um,
I won't be surprised if they I won't be surprised if they transition Jafar out and replace him because that would just be too hard of a story for him to get through.
who knows? I never even thought of that. Hmm. Hmm. Let me see. What about Brooks? I was 9 when he passed away. I didn't even know who he actually was at the time, but he changed my life for the better in many ways. It's crazy how that works. That's cool. The industry would literally not be the same without Michael and the Jacksons at all. It wouldn't. I wonder how close the film will look to an all American, right? I say everybody's homework assignment is to rewatch The American Dream. For sure. Just for comparison, because, the fans are going to compare the two big time. Because, Jermaine and his partner at the time did a really good job on that. Jafar definitely embodied Michael, and they couldn't have gotten a better person to play him. Snaps and snaps and snaps. I feel sorry for Brittany. Yep, she another one. Poor baby. Have you all read no, so I read Moonwalker when I was a child. It was a long time ago. Then I went to go see if there was a audible, which I've honestly forgot to do today because I never have time to read anymore. But I've been doing audible books now. But we'll see. But that'd be cool because I remember I wrote a school report. They let me write about Michael Jackson back then. I feel like they want us to love one another. Absolutely. Shout out to the most diverse, amazing fan base ever. Like Michael said, great music never dies. Yep, yep. Um, do what, George? George, what you up to? I don't know why the good people die. I ask that every day of my life. The mannerisms, yes. I have nothing to say about Jermaine except including Jermaine. You're so stupid. Oh gosh. I saw Tina Turner movie long time when she was punched. Yeah, that was yeah, that was crazy. Uh yes, he was. And I think that's why we appreciate his music. You feel the love. There's a movie that I'm obsessed with. My new obsession is Project Hail Mary. And they were saying that movie took about 6 years to do. And what I noticed, I really have an appreciation for movies or music that is fleshed out to that level. Michael's music was always a couple of years in between, on average 2 albums a decade. Like Michael was not playing. I'm here for it. You gotta watch the Entertainment Tonight interview with Kevin. I have so much to catch up with. All right, Serena, I got so much homework, y'all. I'm just gonna go on YouTube and just put Jafar Jackson and just see what pops up. I'm so happy for this movie. I am, and I'm happy people are celebrating it. Even like the naysayers. I say, something's up when the naysayers are like, "Oh, Jafar's good. Yeah, yeah. At least, sounds like um, welcome back.
Yes, my devices. I don't know what's happening today. I'm not
So
close to
good.
the router. I'm at my desk. So I guess maybe it's just acting up. Sorry, guys.
No worries. Just thanks for stepping in. Yes, I try to like Michael. Wait. Yes, I feel like Michael was so tapped into another realm of spirituality. All right. Like he really did come to bring healing and love to the world. And then they like somehow turned against him. Make this make sense. But look what they did to Christ. Make it make sense, you know? Like hey, you're positive, you gotta get out of here. I'm an instrument of nature. That line always stuck with me. I always wanted to see Michael live live in person, and this movie will show us what it was like back in the days. Listen, so I didn't get the video yet, but y'all gonna see either tomorrow or Monday. There's a video of me inside Lincoln Center, no, Lincoln Square AMC, and very quiet culture, like very quiet, moving, going. Shh, be quiet. So when the Michael trailer's playing, I said, yo, Lincoln's Square, I'm telling you right now, we're not going to be quiet.
Yeah.
I put that up. So then one of my coworkers, really proper guy, really, I said, Gabe, I'm telling you right now, if you want to enjoy this movie, you better not go the first 2 weeks. We're going to act up. And
Telling you.
like moonwalkers, black, white, Spanish, Filipino, you name the race, we are all over the top. So if you want a peaceful Michael Jackson experience, try week 3 and beyond. It's not
Yeah.
going to be the first 2 weeks. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I say specifically to Lincoln's Square because they're so quiet, and it's not a bad thing. I appreciate it. I'm paying. You're paying all this money, spending all this time, but I'm like Michael Jackson. Good luck. Shenanigans are coming.
It feels like it's gonna be a party, a concert, all wrapped into one because some people never got to go to a concert, got to see him in person, or just discover this man. The theaters is gonna be a show. It's gonna be fun, and I that's what I anticipated, like to go. I'm there for the movie, of course, but I'm there for the theatrics. I'm there for the costumes. I'm there to just
Yes.
be immersed in the fandom. And then of course that's why you go multiple times. This is why we're trying to you book different places because I'm gonna be in the Regal area in my area after I go to the one in Lincoln. Cause honey, I know it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna
I
just moviegoers, please
know.
just save your money. Go in May, and then May 1st, you're better off because we gonna act stupid. Okay.
That's it. I'm not playing. I mean, of course, I'll be respectful. I'm not gonna like be silly to be silly. That's bad movie etiquette. But I'm saying if there's a moment where you're, things
Singing.
right, things could happen. So I'm not gonna lie. My first screening, I'm gonna be with MJ fans. We
Yes.
will not be in Lincoln Square. We'll be somewhere else. Um, I really wanted to go to Harlem, but I had a weird experience there, like in January. So I don't know how I feel about the one on 125th anymore, because it's just like I don't know. Like I need time to process. I just be like what? 'Cause I've gotten very spoiled in the movie theater experience, and I'd be like, if it's less than this service, I don't want to be here. No shade to Harlem, but that was shade. I always wanted to see Michael in person. Oh, in person, and the movie will show us. So listen, so I was around for Mania for real. We were children, and actually, I did not plan this, but these were the kind of shirts we wore when we were kids. That's why I was so glad they reissued. Because if I had my shirt as a child, the shirt would never fit, not even like half my breast. I mean, I'm little. I'm single digit child still. So the fact that they reissued these shirts, and then we used to wear buttons all around, and we had this crossbody bag. There was also cassette players, and to have Michael's face on it. There was so much Michael merch back there. Oh my gosh! But my mother only let me have a small amount because she's like, no, no idolizing, no idolizing. Um, but it was amazing, and back then, there was a Latin group called Menudo. So, either it would say, "I love Menudo," or "I love MJ," "Buttons all over you," and then, like, we would be like, "You Michael's better, Menudo's better." It was just so freaking crazy. And so you'll see a lot of kids with some Michael merch back in those days, like you would go to record stores. I remember my first vinyl was a picture disc, and this lady, I think her name was Dee Dee, and Dee Dee sold me my first vinyl. So it was an experience. I'm with my mom, and she's like, she really likes Michael Jackson.
Aw.
We're gonna let her have her first vinyl. So I was just like, like, I mean, my first vinyl was actually Christian vinyls, but I'm talking about like non-Christian vinyl. Like, then like the picture disc was a big deal too. We were like, there's a picture on it. So it
Aw.
was a beautiful time. Um, and then I just remember like Bad was the beginning of the drama because Michael's complexion is very visibly different from Thriller, and the whispers in the Black community was starting, and so and there was no warning that Michael got lighter. We were just like, wait, what? So thank God there was no social media back in the Bad era. I think that would have been wow. And but the movie, the video got a lot of love for Bab and stuff, but I felt like that was the beginning of the rumbles and the problems for Michael, because he was getting lighter over time, and then people were not understanding what was going on, and those are things like, I wonder if that's going to be in a biopic. I never thought about it, because I said that was a thing for real, for real. I was just like, people like, wait, what's going on? No one's explained nothing. And then eventually, he told people he had vitiligo, but that's like seeing me, this complexion, and then I'm like Honey's complexion. You'd have been like, wait, what's going on, Trish? You're gonna want to know. And it wasn't like it was gradual. Michael took a break and then like boom, bad. And you're like, what happened? So I do remember that being like the beginning of the public slightly turning on Michael. So I do remember that, because I was like, wait, what? So yeah, but I've always loved Michael, but I'm just talking in general, like specifically in Black culture. I don't know if that was like with all the fans, but I just remember that was the thing. Like, yo, so he's not going to explain himself. What's going on? Then he was accused of wanting to be white. It was just a lot going on. So that was
Yeah. I
interesting.
remember like as a kid, because I was such a big fan, and like my mom was a bigger fan when before so obviously I inherited her fandom. But I remember as a kid, kids would talk about it, and I'm like, I didn't have a reason, or I would make up a reason. I'm like, he only changes so that he could be look different for his music videos and different videos. So he's trying to just try new things and try things out. I'm like, so it's so crazy how the innocence of kids don't think in
Hmm.
that way. So my mom was just like, oh, he just wants to look different in each video, that's all it is. But yeah, I mean, and to be the biggest star ever, to have such a big skin condition, that I'm sure he was freaking out when he started changing.
I know my mom, she had vitiligo too, but she didn't have it as bad as Michael. It was very vague. But parts of my mom discolored mainly on her hand. Very subtle though. But it's crazy, because I see, we just see white dots on my mom, and I'm just like, imagine there really wasn't any public awareness of it, and then like, the media is being the media. So you're like, that really had to suck. Um I used to listen to Earth Song and just cry. Oh man, this song's beautiful. No, I'm not gonna lie. So when Earth Song came out, I think I'm in high school or something, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like, he making a whole song about the Earth, and at the time we like, "Yo, Michael, you putting 20 on 10. You doing a lot right now, brother." You fast forward all these years, you be like, What about sunrise? Michael's right." Like, we is like, "Oh, my bad." He was very right. He became Michael is timeless. Absolutely. He wanted folks to decode him and still speak about him beyond the centuries and generations. Will he achieve that? A week after my 50th birthday, MJ passed away. Oh, that's
Oh
bad.
wow.
It was a tough year the first year Michael died. Very tough. Fans were legit. I remember we would go to MJ events in New York. Fans were crying all the time. And it was
Mm.
okay though. We would, especially when certain songs come on, DJ Spinner and Spike Lee know what they're doing. We're just like, just crying, like, ooh, like it was a real thing.
Yeah, true.
You wonder if these fans are still alive, right? Leah has a nice speaking voice. Yes, she does. I'm not
Thank you.
trying to spread conspiracy theories, but do you guys feel the whole world's atmosphere change after 2009? Or is it just me? Atmosphere change. You mean like the actual atmosphere?
I think they mean more like there was a shift in like the way that we operate and how humanity has been with one, like how we are with one another. I think
There's
so.
been a shift, but I wouldn't say 2009, but there has been a shift.
Mhm.
I hear what you're saying. I know where you're going with it. No. So when Michael died, there was a shift, but it wasn't a bad one. There was like a rebirth of Michael's legacy. And Lee at the time was super young, but she'll tell you there was a beautiful awakening here in New York and a celebration of Michael's legacy for many years. And of course it faded because Apollo wasn't supporting, and the fans were getting older and they had their own kids and their own lives, and things kind of faded away. But no, I feel a shift now, but I would just because it's a lot of heavy stuff going on now. But no, it was a beautiful. It's sad Michael didn't get to see the celebration of him. Even now, like this is coming out, and you're like, dang, this would have been so nice if Michael got to see Jafar play him. But yeah,
I
here we are.
know. Oh man, that just hurt me just now. Look, like thinking about it, he won't even get to see his own nephew. You
Yeah.
know, dang, that's sad. Mm.
Oh, I've heard that before too, that he did know about the files. But you know what? So I heard that could be a fake story too. But
Mm.
I always wondered, right? Because us normies, we hear stuff too. If we hear whispers, what do celebrities hear? You know, understand? Those whispers come from somewhere. So we don't know what Michael knew and didn't know, or what Michael experienced. We still don't even know. Like I said, we'll never know. Like, for example, all the industry kids that come out and said all these things happened to them, but this happened decades later, like you hear stories later. Um, we don't know what Michael knew or didn't know, or what Michael experienced or didn't experience, but I am curious to why Michael he was super protective of children, and it makes me feel like he knew something, or
Mm.
maybe he heard rumbles or something. Because I said, if we're hearing rumbles, well, what are they hearing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always wondered.
And
Um,
always also take into account that he gravitated and created friends that were in Hollywood who were also child stars. So he understood that there was a need for protection and that to guard the children. Now I don't know if it's a fake story, if he knew or he didn't know, but I think the only fake part of the story is that he wasn't a part of that. I think that I agree with that, but I think that he knew some things. I think he knew a lot of things. I think he was in places he wasn't supposed to be. I think he heard things he wasn't supposed to hear. That is my honest belief because he's Michael Jackson. He could do and be wherever he wants, and he was that like. I mean, there's not going to be anyone bigger than that man. So I'm pretty sure he got access to things and information that he shouldn't have. Um,
I know
honestly.
Corey Feldman, I think, had shared some stuff with him. Um,
Yeah.
that's why I was like, And with a story like that, I mean, me and Leah were both in the industry, probably more Leah than me, but I left for a reason, and I'm sure she left for a reason. Like, it's like, wait a minute, what? Like, and I was literally at Rumble level, just Rumble level, and I'm like, oh, this is not gonna work for me. Like, we're good. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to like kind of turn your head to things, and it's just like, what? And again, I'm literally Rumble level. Like the most I've ever seen is like maybe underage interactions with teenage girls versus someone that's maybe 21. This is not epically bad, but again, rumbles. You're just like, do I want to be part of this? Nah, that kind of thing. Um, but imagine like people that are deeper in. Like I said, I know I've heard some stuff. I was like, hmm. So yeah, instead of me playing a blind eye, let me just go back to my job. Elevators to the left, bathrooms to the right. Like let me just stay in my humble lane. Um, I believe there's awesome, good people in the industry too, but I just feel like they get punished the most for just not, being down with the shenanigans. So it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, actually in our church we have a division of people that are in the industry, but they also, they're Christians. And I was so excited. I was like, oh, why? They're mainly photographers and first. I'm like, how can I get down with this crew? Like, because it's tough because like everybody will be doing certain things, and you're like, well, I don't do that. I don't do that either. So it's like, yeah, I just kind of stay out of most of it. Just stay in a movie theater, watch cartoons, and call it a day. Like I don't care. I used to it used to hurt me just watching how they really yeah. I mean, it's still an issue, but it's gotten better. Um, I don't know. And I find it so effed up that there's legit crazy stories being exposed. And I'm like, y'all still trying to like throw dirt on this man's name and you still have zero evidence. Leave me alone. Like make it make sense. But I get it. You need him to distract from what's really going on. Got you.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. I was just like, so we're not gonna focus on any of the news stories? That's awesome. With evidence? I actually had to stop watching certain YouTubers because I just couldn't take it anymore. Because it was messing up my psyche with all the stuff that was coming out. 'Cause it made me hate almost my whole entire music industry. Like I have a big music collection, and I'm just like, I'm probably gonna literally sell the whole thing on eBay. I'm like, I don't even see artists the same anymore. I just be like, so this happened during this record, that happened with this artist. Like I just can't even see things the same anymore. So I was just like, this sucks, bro. Like, what are we doing? Then most of those artists are broke. It's like, what was the point of them sacrificing if they have nothing to show for it? But really sad stories and no money. Yeah,
They
my
never. Oh,
I'm so go
sorry.
ahead.
I was saying that I don't think the industry ever anticipated for the artist to outsmart the whole industry. I think that was the big deal. Like, they want to make sure that a Michael Jackson never happens again. Not in the sense of popularity, but more so the business aspect. Um, he was able to, he could have, I think he was on the works of doing a lot of things that was going to take away um, all of the background stuff when it comes to the industry. I think he wanted to just make it easier for artists to flourish. Um, and I think that because of his mentality and his business savvy ways, I think they wanted to make sure that no one ever outsmarts that again. No one ever gets big like that. You don't own your music. Oh, and you own other people's music. Oh, you own elevator music. You're creating music for for video games, and then he wanted to get in the film industry. Oh no, you're done. You gotta go. That's how that
Yeah,
happens.
I think that's what makes it
He did
like
not outsmart the sharks, and that was the
you know what
problem.
I'm saying? But
I
it's
mean, he
so
outsmarted.
crazy that you even have to fight for what you work for. Hold on. I didn't want to smash the top of my bucket. I said, wait a minute, because I'm not trying to pay $50 for a bucket that it was only like 20 to me. Um, it makes me wonder, like, why even bother getting the industry if it's designed for you to be poor at the end of the day? Because it's just like, what are we talking about? Like, when they were breaking down like the whole artist thing, I actually had a friend, he signed the record, I won't say the label, but I remember he got signed, and like, they gave him the advance, and then the next thing you know, he had to spend money to get out of his contract because they never produced a record, they never did this, they promised all these things and never happened. So I go, how you go from getting advance to now you owing them money?
Mm.
And I mean, so many stories, like, like for the handful of people, it's not saying you don't want to be an artist, but it's just like you would have to go the independent route, which means you're gonna have to probably work a 9 to 5, do like the Jacksons, work in the day, do your gigs at night. But it just sucks. Like, can an artist, you know, be successful without being stripped of their money or their dignity? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's kind of messed up because I think music should be celebrated and artists should be celebrated, but they also should be able to age without having to do a gazillion tours when they get old. Like, they should just be able to chill. Like, you've worked hard, for the majority of your life. It's like, when do you get to rest? And don't say in death either. I mean, like, when do you get to rest on earth and enjoy it?
I always say that being a performer, being an artist, is a glamorized customer service gig. That's always what I said. Where the real money is at is all the behind the scenes stuff. This is why artists were fighting so hard to have access to that. Because once you get out of the the fairy tale of doing the artist part, you realize how much cuts are being taken. I won't mention a name because we are on a live, but there was an artist that I was really trying to work with, and I was like, when I was fairly younger, I was like, yeah, man, do you think you can like help me? And they were like, I'm trying to help myself. I was like,
Mm,
whoa. And they
yeah.
were big at the time. I don't even know what made me feel bold enough to say it, but they were big. Still is. They're still big. And I was just like, what? And I mean, I will never mention their name, but I, I always, I always wonder, is it better to be famous or to be rich? And it's like, be rich and not famous and probably be sad or be famous. I don't know. But I just know I would never pick being famous over,
No, I
like I
agree.
would
I was
love
like,
the
I definitely wouldn't
popularity.
wanna be famous, but I would like to be financially well off.
Yeah, because to be famous and be poor is crazy.
Could you yo,
Crazy.
girl, could you imagine? I just did a whole world tour, and then you return to your little, government substitutes apartment. Yeah, like, you see these apartments be struggling. I know, because 'cause I'm in one of them. You'd be like, "Oh, hell no, like, what am I coming back to?" Like, I'm like,
Hello.
it's one thing if you're living your dream and you're stacking up to have a house and it's going somewhere, generational wealth, you have something to leave behind, but most of these artists, they ain't got nothing. That's
Hmm.
crazy, man. I'm like, that makes no sense.
But this is how Michael also played it smart. He never left home, even when he was the biggest artist at the time. Stayed home, stacked his bread up, and bought himself his own land, bought his own amusement park. People, they don't, when they talk about Michael, they talk as if like he just was some fluffy character that just kind of just emerged. Like he had strategy. It was quite the strategy that no one is seeing, you know. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of artists go into it with the fluff, and they think of all of, they don't realize how much they have to pay back. That labels are really
Mhm.
just loners, and it's just a bunch of people just waiting for you to make back, you know, what you borrowed. It sucks, but And then Michael was always sending things to charity. I still haven't quite understood. I mean, I get it, but I think the charity thing is also, there's a payout in that some way. I think that was a strategy too. I know he did it for the for what he was doing it for. But also a really good player business move. I mean, he still was a brother. Like, people keep thinking that Michael was just this innocent thing, but he was a man that had a mind. He was very calculated. So they knew that, and
Hmm.
but I think that no one has learned. They have not learned the business aspect of it. They did not learn from his or from other like TLC.
Even if you learn, because I can't say everything, but I know someone that they're owed a lot of money, and so they won their case, and the record label pays like less than 1,000 a year, but they owe this person way more than what they're paying. So it's just like, it's not that people learn or don't learn, it's just they're dealing with people that found a way to slick them out their money. Or it's like, oh, you won, but we're not gonna pay it all up front. We'll just give you like really, really messed up stuff. So it's just like, if you could find honest people to work with, then that's different. But I just always got the impression that a lot of people in the industry either make contracts that nobody understands, or people don't read the fine print. I honestly think they're all victims, if that makes any sense, because I was just like, I remember there was rumors that well, I'm not going to say that, I'll leave that alone, but yeah, there was just, I don't care how good you are or how rich you are, how famous you are, I think there's always someone in the cut to find a way to get that from you. So it's kind of like
Mhm.
messed up. So I said, let me
Yeah.
let me not say that, because that's alleged. So I just rather not talk about alleged. But yeah, it's just, but in general, I just know for a fact in this story, the person I'm talking about, I'm like, no, they won their case. Songwriter rights, this rights, that rights, that rights. They're not going to pay them. Well, give these little fluffy checks here and there. I'm like, what is this? Like nothing. I hope they do a document on the MJ fans back in the days in his concert. I would love to, because they all should be alive, or at least most of them. Because let's see, they would be probably rough my mom's age, so late 60s at this point. They still should be around. I know Melanie said she went to Jackson 5. Rest in peace, Melanie. That's one. Melanie,
Mm.
David, the Moonwalkers who were not here, Amy Sutherland, like all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I would have loved because especially Melanie. Melanie was about that biopic forever.
Yes. Mm.
I was like,
Dang.
but I remember she said she went to a J5 concert. That's her first, encounter with the Jacksons. Like, ugh. I heard they have over 4 hours of additional Listen, we need that uncut footage. Michael was just a magnificent and magical. There, there will never be another. Nor should they, because nobody should be that kind-hearted and then somehow victimized. Like, make sense. They can only address the '05 case. Oh, that's good to know. I'm very no human should have suffered the way Michael did. None. Which makes you also need to be mindful, because I'm guilty, we're all guilty. Be mindful of our words. Words hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care how strong someone appears, be mindful of your words. Be kind. Michael could never die, but his spirit was definitely, yeah, yeah, heck yeah. Jafar needs to really prepare himself emotionally. Shoot, I'm sure he probably needs therapy after part 1 too. Shoot. But even more so for part 2, you are right. Um the second film is the most important. Yep. It's raw. Like, y'all can fluff it if you want to, but phew, we were all there. We saw it ourselves. Like, his internal struggles with politics and media and how he felt about as well, yeah, affecting emotionally. That Listen, when I got into the whole, without saying specific cases, of all the industry being exposed for the last year, I remember when I checked out, I said, nah, I can't do this no more. I can't do this no more. Like, it was getting to me. So it was just like, I know enough to say, "Hey, you made the right choice." You know, staying out of it, but at the same time, it's a sad world. There's a lot of things going on. People starving, people struggling, people kill themselves, people getting hurt in the industry. You think things are good and it's not. It's amazing how MJ mom is still going. Her kids and her grandkids are there for her. TJ just visited her last week. That's awesome. Well, she's 94 or something. She's up there. God bless. It was extortion, and they used a man's love and kindness against him. They always do. Unfortunately, people will use kindness against you, but you have to have discernment and you have to learn to cut people off without explaining yourself and get people out your life that are toxic. Never explain yourself. You know when something's not good for you or people. It takes time. Like I'm going through stuff now with people from my past, my people could that weren't as kind to me, and now they want to be friends with me again. And I'm like, is the social media doing this? So instead of me saying, I remember you were mean to me when I was younger, I just say nothing. Like literally nothing. Like, what are we doing? People are weird. Like, it's like, wait, what are we doing? Like, you just could be mean to people? Like, what are we doing? They can legally they can't legally talk about wait, they can't legally talk about it all. Okay. John Logan is a screenwriter. As long as the mother is living, the integrity of the character should be protected. I love that song too. 2300 Jackson Street. Do I have tickets, George? I have tickets for 3 days in Rome, and I might make it 4. I just need to reach out to my company to see if I can get out of work early on Saturday. I'd be like, I have something very important to do. Need to see the biopic for the 4th time in a row. Because I can't do things on Sunday. That's always like a date strictly for family. If they don't address the allegations, then the 2 movies are completely a waste of time. We know how popular and iconic he was. We don't need movies to show that. What about baby boy? Well said.
They're not gonna go through it the way y'all think they're gonna go through it. It's Lionsgate. It's they can't. They have to be sure to be careful and selective on how they go about it. So I just want you to don't get your hopes up of them
It's gonna
completely
be
going into it.
Bohemian Rhapsody Part 2. But not I don't mean in the shade. They did touch they had some stuff, but it was more about the music
Hmm.
and some stuff. And some stuff is the keyword, some stuff.
They got you got to remember they have to tell Michael's story and not give off anybody else's story. Like that, you can't risk speaking on other people, and that's what they're gonna. It's a company. They don't want to be sued.
You're
They
right.
already this they already gets enough flack as it is.
You're so right. What we need to clear up is all those misunderstandings about the allegations and clean up the minds of people who still believe MJ's guilty. So hopefully there is a project without getting specific that's supposed to be coming. I just don't know if it's this year or soon or whatever. But when I could talk about it, I'll let you know for if you know, you know. But there will be a completely separate project for that. But I hear what you're saying. It would have been more effective in the movie because the movie will be probably millions and people will be watching this. For me, clearing up the misconception about the allegations is more important. Yep. He was actually relevantly helped that personally don't just describe to be in fact that he is a little man. They killed his spirit, but he was a strong man ultimately, and they took him out because but there was definitely physical changes. Like so one of my relatives was in hospice and literally like they were dying in front of us. It took a couple of months, but it happened. And I have another cancer family member, and like the body it changes. And I hate to say it, there is common factors physically in Michael and my two relatives. So even though I didn't see it in the beginning, I so see it now. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if you're not around something, you're not even aware of what you're looking at. But I was just like, huh. Michael, in my opinion, should have never been on tour for This Is It at all. He wasn't ready, you know? He could have got ready though, but I just think he wasn't ready for what they were trying to push in that time frame. I think with maybe some Dr. Sabi remedies, uh nutritional, I think Michael was going through a lot internally for sure. There's things I can't talk about because then it goes back to the alleged stuff, but there were some issues towards the end. That's why I was like, what story y'all telling? Because Michael had some issues that kept him up late at night, man. And I think that was
Mhm.
a factor to him being very sick, him having trouble sleeping, him having trust issues, like the list goes on and on and on. Just watch Searching Neverland. That's a nice, I call it PG version of what he was experiencing, but it still gives you some Easter eggs. And then and for Searching Neverland, there is an accompanying book called Remember the Time. Like there was something going on, man. It was getting crazy. Uh they leave out the damage. They leave it out. They destroy the legacy. The truth needs to be revealed. They I agree with you guys in the sense that that needs to be addressed because that has been a looming black cloud over his legacy. So even though I would say maybe 50, maybe even 60% might believe he's innocent still, you still got to deal with a group that still thinks he's guilty. I know, like, I got attacked on my TikTok on some of the things that I post. There were some other things going on that I had saw in reviews. So there is some damage that needs to be dealt with, whether it be a separate film or in the second part, like it's a thing. The stress that MJ was under was too much. If they, what you call it, uh, let me see, leaving out the allegations will not fracture his legacy. If a documentary in 2019 didn't, then why do you think a biopic without allegations will? Okay. Sony did Michael dirty. They also did 3T dirty. Listen, the industry in general, they do put their artists dirty. It's very rare a artist gets a fair cut of what, because some artists write their own music. That's how you get more money. Most artists, man, they end up back where they started. We didn't know the industry was like that until like more recent years, but a lot of people didn't know. That's why you want to get in it. It looks really freaking cool. Like, what are we talking about? But if I were you, I would be a cop, be a teacher, be a fireman. Yeah. Like, or like Leah says, work on the behind the scenes. Those are the people that are getting the money, not the actual artist. Do you want to tell the truth without yeah. We'll see. Like this, they can't tell the truth. I don't care who you are. Like it's most people focus on the good. That's for famous people or non-famous people. If you skip the allegations, then people will even more strongly believe that Michael is guilty, showing all the good things while skipping the dark moments. So I don't know if you know this. Remember, initially they were going to address it, and Prince was really happy about the story they were going to share, and then they found that they couldn't share the story. So maybe when they find part 2, they'll be able to have a similar story where you're gonna get some tough parts. Even John Branca said they were gonna speak on some tough stuff, and then things change. So we'll see. I think maybe, maybe between John Branca, what he said when he was on TikTok and Prince, that maybe there'll be something in the middle where you can say something of substance that will still clear the air, but at the same time not get sued by the 93 family or whatever.
Right.
We'll see. Maybe they'll find a happy medium, and that would be awesome. Because yes, no, we can't share everything, but can we just share anything of substance that might clear the air for a normie, or even a fan that's still doubting? Like, I'm sure there's fans that might feel like, am I on the right side of this situation? Yeah, just clear the air. Director's cut and additional added footage will hopefully be in physical copy. Yeah, because I know for a fact they're getting rid of physical copies, but please do not do this for Michael. Please, we want a physical. I don't try to think too much about the second part. Let's concentrate on the first one, right? Haha, I mean, you just address everything, so it's very tricky. Honestly, I agree. You're right. So let's just get through this storm. 'Cause,
Yes.
people could be glazing and they could be hyping this up, and we'll be like, "Oh, this sucks." I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be more than fine. I think what the pushbacks that's what the pushback's about. Yeah. Um, they cannot they cannot under any circumstance skip over those fake allegations because they were also me part of. Yeah, so we went to Paris. I'll never first time I ever been to Europe, and unfortunately, the only time I got to go to Europe. So we went to this exhibit in Paris, and I was shocked. Even some of the allegations was part of the exhibit. I was like, really?
Wow.
That's how you know we got a problem. How is that part of the exhibit? But it is. The people who think Michael's guilty is going to continue to believe Michael's guilty. A biopic won't change that. Facts. Um, no, there are people though, like Candace Owen, and there's a couple other people who thought Michael was guilty, and
Yes.
now they don't.
She's
So,
been going really hard too
mhm.
lately to explain his story.
Yeah, like you never know. People can change your mind if you can present a clear story
Hmm.
on innocence. And I think when we had the Marching with Michael campaign last year, it was really telling that there were problems. There were people creating narratives to extort money from Michael, to tarnish his name. Just there was just I mean, it actually happens to a lot of celebrities, by the way. People just know they're easy targets, but um it's unfortunate, Michael has to deal with this for so long, even in death. I think Michael might be the first celebrity in death they were going after. I'm like, wait, what?
Wow. Yeah.
So people raise the question: if Michael is innocent, then they can't. Then why can't they show the allegations in the movie? Part two is going to have to find a way to address something. Yeah, you can't hide the truth. It feels like something forbidden, not met for the audience to see. Michael was such a private, but he wouldn't have wanted that footage released. The allegations are not easy to explain. It's not something you can just get in a movie that's meant for entertainment. That's true, because
That's
even
right.
in our research, it took weeks for us to get through all that stuff. They're not replacing Jafar. Got you. Jafar got Jafar got this far. He won't be replaced. His power. Yeah, I guess I'll have to age him up. They filmed most of the story they wanted to tell. They just wanted. They're just waiting on the tickets to sell numbers to determine if they're going to get the numbers. They're going to get them.
They're gonna surpass the numbers. I think it's gonna be one of the biggest musical film. out there. So I think even them having the early release, I actually like question it if them doing it that way was going to create more of an issue. But no, that's actually going to benefit them quite a bit. Just the early
Mhm.
access, they're looking towards like $1 billion after the early, and they have a lot to look forward to. So we definitely are getting a second one. And Jafar confirmed it, and then Nia Long, she kind of was scared. So she said, "Is this a trap? But did they confirm it yet? I don't know. I'm just,
I'm sure
I
it's
don't know."
we'll
She was
we'll
so
know
scared.
probably in a week or two. I'm like, they're gonna make them numbers.
Yeah.
Before MJ died, he said he was gonna do lots of shows. So I was one of the fans who was trying to buy tickets to go to London, and again, not understanding the human body and what it looks like when it's not doing well. Michael did not look like he can handle the shows looking back. Again, maybe they could have postponed it and maybe got his body up to speed, but I don't know. I don't know the backstory to what led to him even getting that little, but it just could have been just the whole allegations in the trial of 2005, and it's just taking a toll. Media turned on him. You just people were just being cruel. I mean, I've never seen a human be treated as unkindly as Michael ever. So I don't know. Oh, wow, that's crazy. I watched someone's reaction to This Is It recently, and they mentioned despite MJ singing well, he seemed fragile and fatigued. He did. He did. I was just like, wow. Well, it was said to do legal issues. Some things can't be mentioned without a lawsuit. I already heard they had to cut something and reshoot due to legal stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like Leah said, it's not the story has to be about Michael and, uh, just like when I tell my story, have you noticed I won't say a name? Just in case someone in my family decides to say, "Well, I didn't issue to say that." You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my story, but I can't tell their story. So, there's certain things I got permission to say when my mother was alive, so I can talk about certain things, but I know there's certain things I can't say. So, I respect it whether someone's here or not. I don't rewatch this. I don't rewatch this. This Is It a lot because I'm like you. I see it as a documentary, literally leading up to someone dying. Yeah, it's so sad for me. I haven't seen it in a long time. Maybe when the biopic hype dies down, maybe we could still watch biopics and even stuff like This Is Thriller and just see it through a different lens and stuff. Um, but yeah, he wasn't ready to tour at all. They say they took out many scenes which involved the allegations. The original scene was supposed to be that he was looking in a mirror as cars flashed behind him. Mm. The fact that they already wanted to address the Chandler case tells me that the filmmakers were definitely willing to include the allegations in some way or another if the second film gets greenlit. Okay. Yes, the haters in between and even saying Jafar and the entire cast held their own is just I'm hearing the ending has the craziest. Yes. I was like, it's funny, like there was one person that straight out was pretty much implying I believe the mockumentary of 2019. But I give the movie a 3 out of 5 and the acting was solid and the ending sucked. I'm like, if you got haters giving it a decent review, then ha ha ha. No, I am tired. Um, we could finish up a few of these and then we can go to bed because it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning for me. Uh, yes, yes. Part two. Going to the 22nd and the 24th for Hold My Theater. I know. I know some of us are going to get some cricket quiet theaters, but I'm hoping to be with fans. To be honest, I'm going to fill out some of my more popular theaters, and I'm gonna actually explore myself to go into other locations, places I've never gone before. But yeah, I'm like, but first week moviegoers expect shenanigans if you want a quiet theater. We'll see you week 3. I think the fans are gonna act up. They're gonna be dressed up. They're gonna be acting a fool. We're not talking like, you know, rude shenanigans, but I've gone to Michael Jackson movies in theaters, and the fans are very expressive. They like to clap, they like to interact with the music. I remember Spike Lee had his documentaries in theaters. This Is It was in theaters. I remember This Is It in Harlem. The kids were dancing in the middle of the aisle. I was just like, even though I had a great experience in Harlem then, I just don't know if I feel comfortable in Harlem now. But we'll see. Maybe I'll man up and give Harlem a second chance. Um, Child Michael and adult Michael seems like 2 different. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, aren't we all complete I mean, we're all completely different from our child version to our adult version, even though our child version affects our adult version. How funny that is, but we're a lot more naive when we're younger. This movie can be the number 1 movie of all times beating at Princess for real, what do you think, Leah? Princess thinks this could be the biggest movie of all times.
Of all times. Why not? I agree.
Okay,
I
bigger
think
than
in
existed.
I think in a musical standpoint, maybe not.
Oh, biopic, hell yeah.
Yeah, like it's not gonna. There's not gonna be anything bigger than this music wise. And as far as like the box office, I also was just thinking maybe it would change the idea of theaters a little bit because it's gonna feel. I don't know. Maybe yeah. I mean, Taylor Swift, Beyonce have had concert movies, but I don't know. This Michael's always breaking some sort of record, changing something. So leave it up to his fans to make some sort of impact that would be revolutionary. So I
They're
think
all doing a great job on with the shorts. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Like, if I didn't know who Michael Jackson is, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to the movie." Like, the fans have made the marketing epic. I was just like, there are people reviewing T-shirts, what to wear, how to dress, how to show up. Like, it's a thing.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't remember this much excitement before a movie, like to this level.
Oh
Nah.
no.
Or oh, last for a minute. For Michael, it's been going on for a couple of weeks now. It's like, okay. Wait till y'all see I post tomorrow. There's something funny with AI.
I can't wait.
um, Folks didn't realize Michael was still looking like Bad Era in early '91, and he went with Madonna and the Oscars. If the movie gets a proper massive worldwide release and receives positive reactions, it has a huge chance to beat many box office records. Everything has to come together. Heck yeah. You need to vlog when you're watching the film for the first time. That's actually a cool idea. Of
Hmm.
course, only if you want. That's actually a good idea because I have a really crappy seat, so I'm probably not gonna be paying attention.
My seats are worse. I will be looking up at the screen whole
Girl,
time, but it's worth it as long
are you
as
coming to the fan meetup on the 22nd?
if you want me to, sure.
The
What's the
seats are crappy.
22nd?
For those who just got in, if you're in New York, there's like maybe 10 seats left. There is a fan meetup. Moses Harper, I think, is leading that one.
Oh my gosh, Moses!
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in years.
April 22nd, 6 o'clock, 34th Street. I think there's literally 10 seats left. Let me check. I was like, man, I said that one. She already said everyone's gonna be acting a fool with the outfits. So I said, oh,
For
I said,
real?
well, you might have to vlog about this. That's a good idea.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna see it more than once, so I don't have to pay attention. I could pay attention for like the one on the 24th is the main one for me. That's the one where we're gonna be in a quieter theater. Wish me luck.
I'll see about the 22nd because I haven't seen Moses. I haven't seen the whole game in years, so it would be so nice to see everybody and
So if
just.
anybody wants to do the New York one, it's not looking good. One, two,
Oh
three,
really?
4 seats left. Four, five, six. I was wrong. 6 seats are left.
Oh boy.
So I won't
So
put that
what's
on my social handles except for like this live. If you're watching 2 hours and 56, it's 54 minutes, and then you clearly wanted to like figure out what's going on. But there's only 6 seats left. Hot mess. One, two, yeah, six. Even the handicap seats are gone.
oh gosh.
So I was like,
Hmm.
damn. But that's where the New York homies will be. That's the people that you'll see in my vlogs for the last decade and a half. She didn't disclose who was going to be there. She just said people are flying in for this, and I was like, all right,
Wow.
say less.
Okay. I'll grab a ticket as soon as we get done. I'll have one of those crappy seats. Just to be with y'all.
Like, you'll be in the front with me. I'll be like, Leo, what's good?
Yeah.
You'll see us dancing in the front.
Yep. We're gonna be having fun no matter what.
Like, whatever. I'm sure I'll get a good seat sooner or later. Um, sorry. That's how you know I'm struggling. It's getting harder and harder to read.
Hmm.
My theories that the Pepsi accident was so traumatic to body physically that it kicked the can it? That do you know if that affects vitiligo? I'm not familiar. Don't know if it does or doesn't, but to bring that up though, I know the Pepsi accident was the beginning of trouble too for him, like real trouble, painkillers and stuff like that. Uh, let me see. Any other ones? Okay. I feel like there's a shift in terms of something was lost. It was like magic left. There was a surge of energy the day he died. I didn't know how to explain it for those who that I can understand. Yeah, for sure. There was definitely a loss. Michael's the first celebrity that passed away that the mourning was equal to how I mourn for my own family. Like, I was legitly crying over him, like, for weeks, months. Um, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That I could say, yeah. I think the music industry stopped trying to go above and beyond with music videos and quality. Now, if you wanna make money, you have to be viral, and you pretty much gotta, like, either get a good what they call it, social media team, or you just gotta be really good at yourself. Like, music sells so differently now. Your video, you gotta, like, be viral with TikTok, and it's just different. Like, half the time I don't even know the new music, I only know, like, the little part that's 7 seconds viral on TikTok. It's weird. I mean, I don't think it's gonna break box office records. I mean, it's not a Marvel movie or actually makes more than money, but to the numbers aren't important, the quality of the film is. Okay. So and also that's another good point. It is competing with really big movies this year. The Odyssey, Doomsday, Dooms 2. I'm not I don't think The Mandalorian's gonna be a threat, but I'm sure it's gonna make money. Um, we have some top contenders, and there are a little bit of whispers of Project Hail Mary getting something. I just don't know what category it might be for. Who knows? Like, who knows? But I love that movie, so who knows? I'm never gonna say because I'm sure we're actually know that MJ knows, but it might be decades from now. Have you seen the tracking of Michael? It's already going to be the highest grossing biopic of all time, and it said it's not going to break records, but it's just false, bro. I think it's going to break records biopic wise. It would be great if it could actually be the highest grossing film of the year. But and like someone said, of all times, who knows? Speak it into existence. Nothing wrong with positive thinking. That's how, if the fans work together, we can break records. How many Michael Jackson fans is on YouTube? Was it 30 million or something? Michael has a lot of fans on YouTube. 30 million or something ridiculously high. Um, y'all having a back and forth in here, but you're from that's cool. Uh, all right. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Leah, do you wanna finish any last words?
No, this was great. Thank you for
That's funny.
inviting me.
They say you sound like Janet Jackson. You do.
God, thank you. I think that's a compliment because she has a great speaking voice. But no, I thank you so much, Trish, for doing this. I know that took a lot to just even get back into this, and it was nice to just stand beside you, and you know,
Mhm.
you're a sister for life. So I mean, you're doing wonderful, and I know that you're juggling and trying to just maneuver your channels, and hopefully, if not this year, then the next time they do the rollout for the second part, they make sure they have the right people on board. That's all.
Yeah, I was like I said, I'm for the most part, I'm happy with the people they chose, but there's a couple of people, German, MJ fangirl, just don't forget them next time, man. They
Well, I
work hard.
wouldn't. I would check in with her. I think she's gonna be just fine.
Okay. So, just like, it's like there's some fans, like Leah said, we're all equal, but there's a couple like, just be nice to recognize that some work harder than others.
Yeah.
That's cool. But I hope everything works out, at least for the two people that I was like, hey, two are in LA. Like, I hope it works out for them. Yeah, and then I hope that for those that will be local like me, that one, that you will receive this is where you're supposed to be in your time right now. But when you go to the theaters, you're going to show up with premiere energy. And if you don't know what I mean, go ahead to Gadget Trish. Lee will tell you I'll be going to the movie theater like it's a runway almost every freaking
I love
time.
it.
I think only one time I came regular. I had khaki pants on, and then I had a T-shirt, but it was actually a Hail Mary reference and sneakers. Because I said next week there'll be stilettos, there'll be glitter. I said let me just take a time out. We gonna make it red carpet, and that's what life is about: making it red carpet no matter where you go, and creating your own tables and creating your own spaces. And see who comes at your table. So with that being
Absolutely.
said, Sleepy Trish and Lee is going to be out,
You're
and
sleepy too.
I will be back. I just don't know when. Should I do the watch party for the biopics?
Do the watch party. Do the reaction, like the video they said. I think that would be fun.
All right. If all goes well, we'll do a watch party. Okay, if we had to pick between Elvis and Bohemian Rhapsody, let's just say I can only do one. Which
Hmm,
one wins?
that's a good question. I did like the Elvis Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah. That's a hard one because I like them equally. I would say, I don't know, maybe Elvis, given it's like, I don't know, Queen. Come on. But okay, we got Bohemian Rhapsody in the chat. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so that's true.
Okay,
So
it's unanimous.
okay, so y'all put so I'm gonna try to do Bohemian Rhapsody tonight, but if there's some hiccup with the family, then we'll do it tomorrow. If all goes well, we'll do Bohemian Rhapsody later on today, much earlier than now, and then we'll do Elvis tomorrow.
What
And
about the Jackson American Dream? Have you done that in the
we
recent?
have, we have, but we can revisit it. Um, yeah, we'll work some stuff out because I'm in New York. I mean, we can't do everything the first week because we clearly will be in a movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
But like Sundays, I don't go to movies. It's usually family day. Maybe we could do Sunday and Monday, we could do American Dream. Let me just reach out to Tori to see like what's doable or whatever. Because Tori works a lot, so maybe I'll be by myself or maybe have Leah join or something. Like we'll figure it out.
We miss you, Tori.
We do, but everybody's working. It is what it is. So even me, I'm like, you see, I've been gone for a minute. But yeah, with that being said, good night. And for those who go to church, I'm sorry, you're gonna be tired now. And hopefully I'll see you guys later on tonight and we'll do Bohemian Rhapsody later on. But thank you so much. And thank you, Carol, for the tip. Bam, 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 bam. Keeping the lights on, keeping the lights on. And thank you, Leah, for co-hosting. You did a great job. AKA Janet Jackson.
Thank you guys. Good night.
Good night. Thank you for watching this live or replay. Make sure you sub to this channel to get more content like this. Don't forget to like the video, share, and I will see you guys real soon.